Oh, yeah.
Welcome to Denver, Colorado in the Denver Coliseum. We are at men's draw 2 at the 2023 men's and women's USA Curling National Championships. Our featured draw today, Team Smith versus Team Ruohonen. Get a good look at the venue there from all around the city. This is Tyler George, joined in the booth by my former coach from the Olympics, my former teammate from men's, and most importantly, 2016 Evelyn Mixed Spiel champion with myself, Phil Drobnik. Phil, thanks for coming up and joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Ty. Looking forward to calling this matchup of a couple undefeated teams.
Now, I have to assume, Phil, you let everybody back home in Evelyn know that you're on the call, and they're actually much more interested in watching this draw now that they have this expert commentary that they can rip you from Eggies and from the curling club back home.
Absolutely. I'm sure that they're all ready for that. So it's instead of tuning into one of the other sheets, they'll be on this one for sure.
And we do have our updated standings on the screen here. Dropkin, Dunham, Ruohonen, and Smith all 1-0. Casper, Sampson, Schuster, and Sobering looking to get their first win.
Couple of interesting matchups here today, and in particular, hearing Sampson and Dunham will be a good battle there. Both.
Yeah, there's our feature game there with Team Smith and Team Ruohonen, both at 1-0, looking to stay on top of the ladder and get to that 2-0 spot. There is Team Smith, Eli Clausen, alternate. Lead Jared Allen, second Hunter Clausen, third Dominic Markey, and skip Jason Smith, coached by Dave Jensen. And Team Ruohonen, alternate Aiden, or I guess we'd have Tim Solon listed as alternate as well. Is he pulling double duty?
He is. He's alternate and coach for the week.
Is he, man? Aiden Oldenburg at lead, Connor Kaufman second, Sam Strauss at third, and skip the immortal Rich Ruohonen.
Rich has been a great fit for this young team, jumping in and helping take over for these guys.
Yeah, I spoke with Connor Kaufman this morning on the call with us, and nothing but good things to say about playing with Rich. I told him that he probably needs to find some more things to say if it's all good with all the experience we had with Rich. But yeah, a great experience for those guys playing with a player like Rich and learning so much, Connor said.
Ty and I both had a great opportunity to play with Rich and learn from him as well.
And Phil, I think you'd agree, too, that if there was ever a game for the announcers to kind of sit back and just relax, put the mic on Rich, and then we just kind of take it easy for the rest of the day, probably still get every bit as much commentary as the two of us combined.
I'm thinking Rich and Jared Allen, I think, will probably handle it pretty good for us.
Yeah, Jared's very vocal on the ice. You've seen that, and I'm sure that carries over from athletic career in other sports. Obviously, his football career, Jared's always been a very vocal guy and a good team leader for his squad.
And him and Richie got a great relationship, so it'll be fun to see if we get a little bickering back and forth and trying to get under each other's skin as well.
Well, I'm sure if you told Rich, whether it was on the curling ice or not, that he'd get a chance to trash talk with an NFL defensive lineman, that he would absolutely jump at that opportunity, especially after hearing his stories about trash talking with Chris Paul, sitting front row at NBA basketball games for the Timberwolves.
Yes, the Rich does not lack trash talking.
Well, this will be a fun tilt as Jason Smith's team pulling off what would obviously be considered an upset in the first draw over Team Schuster, our reigning Olympic team. Came down to the last rock in that game, and to get off to a 1-0 start with a win over John, obviously a little bit of a grudge match with Jason and John and playing against each other after so many years as teammates. I'm sure that one tasted extra good for Smitty.
Yeah, it's always fun to watch those two play each other, playing skip and third for each other for so long, battled against each other as juniors. So it's always fun to watch them play, and Smitty got the better end this time. I think John's got the better end a number of times over the last few years, but Smitty finally came up on top.
So our feature game is on sheet B. Team Ruohonen throwing the yellow stones. Team Smith has the hammer throwing red. Oldenburg's first shot, splitting the center line with the no tick zone rule. That rock will stay exactly where it's at. And Phil Smitty going right into the house with this first draw, looking to take that position away from Richie and get control of the center of the sheet.
Not surprising. Last night there was a ton of rocks in the middle of the sheet, and no matter who had the hammer. So as we know, John plays that way, Smitty plays that way. So we're going to see a lot of rocks in play today.
It seems too, Phil, from watching at the Pan Continental Championships in Calgary, doing commentary there, watching some of the slams and tour events throughout the season, that especially for teams that look at their opponent as somebody as a higher ranked team, they really try to attack the center of the house, regardless of if they have hammer or not, and keep the opponent chasing. And that's a strategy that you remember we used a lot with Team Schuster, and specifically against teams like Nicholas Edin, where you want them chasing. But watching these competitive games with international level events, that strategy's been used a lot with teams that feel like they need to keep a higher ranked team chasing.
Just out.
I would say in particular over the last couple of years, we've seen it a lot more. As you mentioned, back in 2016, 17, 18, it wasn't used maybe as much, but now definitely you're seeing that if a team is ranked a little bit lower and chasing a team that's ranked higher than them, they're junking up the middle, trying to get as many rocks in play as possible.
And all important to be the first one in as well, where as long as your opponent is chasing your stones, no matter how many runbacks they make, they're still chasing you. It's difficult for your opponent to score, let alone multiple point outs.
Yeah, and we're seeing that here with Jared Allen throwing the out-turn tap here, trying to be the first team into the forefoot.
Roll that one, Hunter. Real good, Jared.
Splitting it off.
That stone off the center a little bit and open things up, and a very usable stone on the corner as well.
Okay.
But Jared Allen's really put a lot of time
and
energy and effort into just getting better every time he gets out on the ice.
Yeah, keep it up.
And I think it's important people know, Phil, from where Jared and that football team started with their curling careers and trying to become competitive players, that especially for Jared in particular, that he's no longer the football player that curls. He's a curler.
Yeah.
He takes this sport and this craft very seriously, and he's just a member of the curling community now. And this is not a gimmicky thing for Jared or for Mark Bulger or anyone else. And as you said, he's really put the time in. He's worked extremely hard on his game. He's deserving of being here in this competition. And he never wants anything to be about himself. He just wants to go out and play and pathologically competitive as a professional athlete, and that's the best way to succeed at something like this.
And some things that we forget is, not only is he putting in the time and the energy, he's playing with a team that's putting in the time and the energy, and he's got a couple of Olympians that he's playing.
Here. Pretty much the same broom, basically same broom.
Yeah, and that just it goes to show, and these guys wouldn't play with somebody that didn't take it seriously enough to compete at this level. So it speaks to what Jared has done, the work that he's put in, that he's ended up on a team with former Olympians and playing here at a national championship event.
Whoa!
And on the other side, we see a good young talented team with Aiden Lindberg and Sam Strauss. Connor Kaufman, those three guys are great up and coming athletes.
You see Connor over curl a little bit there with that out turn soft weight pass.
Hey, let's make it right now. Or just peel the guards.
Maybe just a little soft on the release there. And we talk so much about early in games, especially in the first ends, not underthrowing shots, making sure that as you're trying to read the ice, you take the ice out of it by playing more weight on shots than you might play later in the game. And that one, I don't think he was trying to play pure hack. It certainly ended up a little softer than expected, but something to maybe make an adjustment with the rest of this end until they get a little more comfortable with the ice.
Yeah, as coaches, we talk a lot about that first end and second end, making sure you don't underthrow stones for those things to happen. New paths can be fresh. Ice can run a touch slower.
Curl.
Clausen's first here in this game.
Leave it in. It's out.
In-turn split they're playing, but probably a little bit too much weight for that shot. That looked to be almost hack.
You know how it's going to run.
You kind of close enough you can do something with sweeping there, but
9.5
early. Both teams getting their feet underneath them.
Sam Strauss is first to the game.
Phil, you've seen Sam play as much as anybody, I'm sure, and
Weight's good.
The progression that he's made in the last few years.
Weight's good.
We'll talk about the player that he is now compared to the first couple of rounds. in nationals and from his junior
Hard
days.
two. You gotta go
Yeah, Sam's just become a more well-rounded player. Spent a lot of time learning how to throw the soft weight shots and understanding that part of the game. I've had the opportunity to practice with him a number of times this year. And he's just getting better. He's a young kid, and he's just getting better every time he steps on the ice. And good to see the hard work ethic that he has.
Right. And I always enjoy when there's siblings that are playing in events like this, and knowing my sister and I doing that back in the day, and you have that little bit of competitive nature with them, and who is known as whose sibling based on your accomplishments throughout your curling career. Because we traded back and forth many times.
Got a curl.
Yeah.
Back 12.
Yeah, and Delaney coming off that medal at the World University Games and the Junior World Series. Sam's definitely chasing her right now to try to get that.
Oh shit! Did I do it too much? All right, that's good. Nice throw. Sorry.
3 games into the tournament, but only took one end to get our first swearing fine from Jason Smith on that one. He would have been one of the top picks probably.
Yeah, definitely. I hope that we have that bucket out and it's going to a good cause, I'm sure.
Well, in your position with the organization, Phil, I would expect that you're setting the rules on that too, and that you have that jar going.
Yes, I'll make sure we take care of that after the game and collect.
It is difficult with the competitive fire every once in a while, forgetting about the mics. We excuse that once or twice, but after that, got to call them out.
How's the weight? Top 8. Yes, and go. Top 4.
Sam Strauss is second to the end, playing the intern come around draw.
Whoa. It's real close. Get ready. Curl.
Important shot here without Hammer trying to get shot.
Whoa. It's way here. Whoa.
Little misjudged by the sweepers there.
Good. Yeah, plenty of room around the guards too. Yeah. Just a little miscommunication. That definitely opens the door up for Team Smith to try to put up a multiple point end.
I had 14.
With those guards staggered the way they are, Phil, there isn't any run back opportunity to get to these stones. So if they can get to top 4 foot somewhere in that area with the shot, very good chance for Team Smith to maybe get a 2 or a 3.
This is one of those shots where you're in the hack and you're reminding yourself you don't want to be deep here, because this is, you've got a great setup this end and anywhere but deep to get a freeze out.
Okay, you got room. Okay,
go curl. 2018 Olympic bronze medalist.
You need to go. Get it to the 4 foot. Top 4. Go. Hard, go.
Of course, playing with Switzerland in that run.
Okay, straight. Hard.
Dom with dual citizenship, hoping to represent the United States.
We're trying to get it under now. We're under.
Rock ended up a little short. Not a terrible spot, but
no, not really.
Another couple feet would have been in great position.
I think we got a wrap here.
And maybe, as you said, Phil, thinking I don't want to be deep here, ends up being a little bit short.
He's going to put himself, Rich is going to have to make a pretty good shot here. Doesn't really have many outs. As you said, staggered guards, doesn't have a run back.
I think it'll curl.
There's 3 red rocks in the house, so he's got to be careful not to open up access to that back yellow one. So he's just gonna throw this in turn draw here.
And you can afford to be a little deep this time too, because anything that plays into a jam on the back stone is not a bad thing. Anything that buries on this line is the most important thing.
So I'm thinking like 90 maybe.
So you hear them talking through the weights.
Yeah, we were thinking 95. Gotta make this shot. Yep. Gotta make this shot, boys.
Rich tell him, gotta make this one. First end, that didn't take long either. That we need this one. We gotta have this one.
How many times did you hear that when you got in the hack and Rich was sweeping? Now he's in the hack telling the sweepers.
Yeah. I had 4-0.
He's telling himself as much as anything else too.
Top 4 right now. Okay. Weight's pretty good. It'll go. It'll go. Go, Connor. Go. Weight's real nice.
About Rich is he's always right over his rock.
Top 4. Stay close.
Yeah, that's a teaching point for younger players watching too. You don't need to do that.
We're heavy. We're heavy.
Players or club players. Keep your distance a little bit so you have a good view of the line. That one ends up carrying all the way back to the back eights too. And it looks as though Smith is still sitting 1, and with those rocks used as backing, Smitty can keep this one above the tee line and bury a good piece of it. Still an opportunity for a possible 3.
Half under's pretty good too. So
they might have got a little tease there on the sweep. They were asking for a 90-95. Rich threw a 4-0, and they
on that.
Just kind of let it, just ran down that path a little bit.
And they swept it a little bit, so I think that 14 is pretty good.
Here, Jason saying he wants a 14. That's a
Might be
hog-to-hog
half-work
time.
quite a rock down here, so.
Yep.
Rich's last one was 14-1.
14 is probably there on its own, I would think, too.
Yeah, I
Back
think
in,
right
back
now it's
12.
running about 14-4.
We got a curl.
Easy.
It's got to come down. It's got to grind. It's got to grind.
Still heavy. Back
Let it work.
And this is all there. It hasn't
Hard
started
curl,
turning
hard
over
curl.
yet.
It's a
Hard
12-8.
curl.
That's not going to do the job then. 12-8 is nowhere near what they were looking for on that shot. And both teams struggling a little bit to find that forefoot.
One there. Okay.
Big opportunity for Rich here.
If I throw it the same, I think we're good.
So
Yeah, a third chance for Team
yeah,
Ruohonen
there.
to get out of this end with a good draw.
No, I agree.
And Phil, if he does make this,
Yeah, and we're going right where he was.
All right,
not
boys, make
sure
this
if
good. It
there's
doesn't
enough
have
on that red stone in the top of the
If it
8-foot to
is,
play
we
into it,
Okay.
depending on where it ends up. But
Yeah.
there also could be
Yeah,
a
'cause he
play
gave us
off of the
like a
winger
95 on your last.
for 2. That red stone
Gave
that's
it a
just off
pretty
the
good
12-foot
box.
circles on
Okay.
the left side on the overhead,
Try to throw it similar.
because they probably won't have much option on a way to get closer anyways. So the in-off may be the only way in.
I had 96 less pop.
Okay,
TeeLine right now.
Okay, easy. Just
so it's
stop
all about
that.
line on this shot
Stay
for them.
close.
Line's
No
definitely a little
T-line.
bit tighter too.
Top 14.
Got room
Gotta go
right now.
out.
Room.
Still not turning over though.
Girl.
14-7, hog-to-hog.
Gotta go, Connor.
Should
Starting
get it
to
to
try.
bury a good chunk
Go
on this
hard.
line now.
Hard. Get.
That's
Okay,
pretty
that's
good.
enough.
Pretty good throw.
Good job.
Good
job.
team, good communication there on that shot.
At least take our one.
Line was hanging out a little bit. They had to make sure they put it in a good position.
Would you remove that one?
For 2.
Oh, you'd probably play a hack leader at it. Don't you think?
No, I think back.
Or a jam.
Haven't looked at that in-off off the outside one as of yet.
Well, I think.
Yeah, even if we pick it clean, it's good, right? As long as I don't just dead jam
Looks
it.
like they're just playing maybe for a straight pick
Straight, so.
to take 1.
You like that? Well, he's going to try to.
Interestingly enough, first end, the in-off is
Yeah,
pretty accessible for a 2 spot.
So would
You think that's worth
We
a
either
chance
straight pick
maybe
it,
if you
or,
if you
I hit
can
it
get a
quick enough,
deuce in
we
the
can
first end?
probably triple
Yeah,
it
I
back.
mean, the shot they're playing isn't really a high percentage shot. It's definitely
Give me an
makeable,
ace, Hunter.
but
That's
I don't
probably
know
real
that
straight
it's
here.
that much easier than playing off of the side one for 2. So I think it'd be worth it to have a go for the second point. You might end up making just the roll off the back of your own, too. But Smitty feels comfortable with this pick. It is for 1. Final stone of the first end.
Whoa! Curl!
curl, 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 curl.
Curl!
Looks pretty good. Picks it clean and does indeed take his 1 point. So Smith with the hammer takes 1 in the first. Leads Ruohonen 1-0 in the opening end of draw 2 of the competition. Start of the second end here at the 2023 Men's USA Curling National Championships. Team Smith leads 1-0 over Team Ruohonen. Tyler George here in the booth with
Right to here.
Phil
curling.
Drobnik. Phil, we saw a bunch of rocks in play in the first.
Curling,
Both
go,
teams
both
willing
of
to
you.
mix it
Get
up a
here.
little
Get
bit,
it here, go.
but
15-1.
definitely trying to find draw weight
Hard.
still, as we saw a few short, a few long.
All right.
Yeah, I think we're going to see that the entire game here in terms of rocks in play. Teams are going to start to lock in on their draw weight, and it's going to make for an exciting match. Rich, as we know, a veteran of the game is going to try to move that play from the center to the sides to be able to generate his deuce this end. Calling that corner guard.
Gotta go, guys. Always curl, always curl. Just over. Okay, go.
This will be a relatively high one here. They're trying to go for distance and for line to try to get this off the center. As you saw, not a big surprise that Jason Smith elects to go into the house with their first stone.
Back.
What was that? Short?
Not a ton of curl on that going to the outside.
Oh, we gotta
there.
go this way at it.
Just a few feet.
No, and it didn't travel a long ways. It only ended up being a mid guard, but didn't snap anywhere early. We've been keeping an eye on the curl
Gotta go.
from this
Yeah,
morning's
gotta curl,
games,
gotta
especially
curl.
that we did
Okay,
see
line's
more
okay,
curl
line's
going one
okay, line's
direction
good.
than the other,
Straight side.
and that seemed to be the case for all the
Okay,
sheets
go.
Yeah, pretty consistent across the board.
Touch that center line, go.
as these lead stones are coming to stop.
Okay, whoa.
Another opportunity to talk about our sponsor,
yeah.
Warm Room Hero.
Hard.
Is your curling club website clunky and unworkable? Are you tired of your club relying on social media because your website just does not work for your members?
So slow. I had to get
Finally,
around
the
this.
curling management software your club has been waiting for is here. Check out Warm Room Hero at curling.club today.
Good sweep.
Phil, that center guard touching the center line, so it cannot be moved off of it. The no tick zone rule. And in talking with players in the last few years, Phil, it sounds as though they universally are either in favor or indifferent with the no tick zone. I haven't heard anybody that's vehemently against this rule.
Yeah, no, it seems pretty consistent, as you said. They're like, well, either we don't really have an opinion on it, or they're in favor of it. So I think it's good for the game. I think it's a positive change that everyone's made. I know you're a part of that committee that helps to make some of those decisions and make positive changes for the game. And I think this was one that we definitely, or the World Curling Federation, got right to make our game a little bit more exciting.
Yeah, it's been a pleasant surprise being a part of the World Curling Federation Athlete Commission and the Competition and Rules Commission, that the athlete voice is really heard throughout these meetings, and they really take it into account. None of these decisions are being made without consulting the athletes themselves, and that kind of runs through the athlete commission itself as we speak on their behalf.
Yeah, I mean,
But
almost like a straight
we have a
draw.
seat at the table for a reason. The WCF
think
is
I like
listening to what
this.
the athletes have to say, and any changes
Just
they want to
talking
make
like
have to do with
Back 8.
promoting the sport
Get.
more and making it
Get inside.
more
Get.
TV friendly without hurting the
You think it's
competitive
gonna
balance
go
in sport
really
at the same
hard,
time. And I think they're doing a great job of that over the last few years.
Okay,
Yeah, that
no more than
implementation
that,
of the athlete commission was a great piece by the WCF, and as we know, USA Curling has the same thing, and have an athlete representative as a vice chair now on USA Curling board. So it's just good to make sure that the athletes are having input.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Whoa. Easy.
Here's my
Close. Yep. Clean.
broadcast
Yep.
booth mate from this morning,
Yeah.
Connor Kaufman.
Yes. Gotta go. Hunt
Playing the intern as he is
Hunt Sam. Hard. All the way.
Southpaw.
Keep going.
Do
it, Sam. Keep going. Do it, Sam. Hard.
keeping, hammer it behind the guard and maybe
Real good, sweet
tick
boys.
and move over. That's a very nice
That's
shot
a really
by
nice
Connor.
shot.
Phil, I was very impressed with Connor in the booth, too. I told him he did a good job. I don't want him to know I'm saying this many nice things about him, as I think he'll be back later in the week, but extremely knowledgeable for such a young player, 21 years old. I'm not going to give Rich the credit for that. I'm going to say that he had all this knowledge before he got here, obviously, but really did a very nice job in the booth and contributed a lot to what we had for the broadcast.
Yeah, Connor coming from a curling family out in Seattle, and his dad a very competitive curler, and learn more, as we say, those of us that came from curling families, you learn more at the kitchen table than you could possibly ever get taught. So it's he's a great kid and has a great curling mind.
Are we allowed to call him Doogie Jr.? Or is that going to go over okay?
I think so.
How much do you have, edge to edge?
Yeah, but
I got a
good
little
shot there also
Okay.
by Hunter
I also have a
Clausen
third of our
came in there,
yellow.
was able to get a little
I
angle
feel
there.
like we want to make this with
So
Hack.
Connor gonna have
Wanna
to make
get
it
out
easy
here.
here.
I think it's a similar shot to what he just threw with maybe
Like
a
Hack.
few feet more weight to try to move that back
I'm a
stone and
little
unlock
tight.
it.
Am I good?
If you can get that same roll
Even
underneath,
nose isn't terrible. Then they
I'm not
double,
going to try to
but
talk over Rich here.
I'd like to get inside. Hack.
I don't think I need more than 12 and a half.
Yeah, you really, if you can get to 2/3 or 3/4 on the inside, Richie will have Smitty in a little bit of trouble.
We talk about in curling how important it is to control the top of the rings.
Whoa,
This is one of those
whoa,
opportunities.
Curl.
Yeah,
Wide out
definitely
of
a
his
little outward
Oh my
float on
God,
this one.
Curl. Gotta curl all the way in.
Hard, Aiden.
What can they get out of this shot? That's the other.
All right. Sorry.
Yeah,
Well-
just a little bit of outward momentum on that release from Connor. I don't think it's a terrible result still.
What?
Based
not as
on
bad
how
as
it lined up.
Yeah.
I think we just
I
got to
think
put one back in here.
they still have some angles, right? Yeah.
You know, even if we get one in here, it's not
A lot
bad.
of it will depend on what Team Smith is able to do with this
I'm okay
draw.
with that.
If Dominic Markey can get into that same 4-foot position and into that pile.
You know, I was gonna say 11 on the straight side. But you're fine. You want to play this way? Okay.
Electing to play the hit and roll instead of the draw. Sometimes, you know, we say that hit and roll is sometimes the most challenging shot in curling.
Yeah, they're trying to accomplish two things with one shot in killing this yellow stone and playing the roll. Not sure they need to fear that stone, but it could be a situation where they're worried about Richie maybe playing off of his own to
Right.
get into that spot too, so they're going to do it first.
Problem is, you don't get the roll, and
Move these a little bit. Okay, that's actually
You
Oh,
gotta-
that's
Sorry, Rich.
Richie didn't like that one. A little
Yeah.
come on.
You don't think so?
Pushes it right into the spot that draw was going to be thrown to in the first place.
yeah, not a good throw there.
You gotta
That
hit
you know
so-
ended up curling a lot more and
You ever run the
ended
red
up
to
getting
the
a break
yellow?
there.
Like the guard?
I think they have a pretty good chunk of that
thinking it's either
yellow
that or-
stone
I mean, how
on
much
the
of this one do you
intern
have?
side.
I mean, that makes it with 2. Let's play that through. If you pick the guard, it's fine.
Okay, which guard?
Want to hit as much as we can see.
Although you may not know it from
I think
the
7
volume that we're used to hearing from Rich Ruohonen. The microphones for the players are up to speed now, so we'll have a lot more input from the guys on the ice. Less time for us to fill in the booth. Always a good thing.
Yep.
Hard.
Yep.
A little soft on this release, so got to see it.
Yep. Just roll it off right to it. I got the roll.
Yeah, I definitely rolled that one over a little bit.
Good roll.
Makes sense.
Amazing in this game how quickly an end turns.
do we think?
You know, team gets a break, and all of a sudden, the other team gets a half a shot, and now Red's in total control in the end.
And what?
And we're
This
seeing
one?
some misses on this narrow side, Phil, and we
I mean, we
in
could
the
just go
earlier
here.
draws that this has definitely been the turn that has curled more too.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
no real surprise that we're seeing that rock cut harder there.
I thought the weight was good. Okay. All right, I think you're.
So what was the final call on this one, Ty? Is he trying to come right?
I didn't see where he pointed and I didn't hear, but I would assume this is a tight guard of some sort. I'm not sure if there's a
we're
spot
there,
unless
we're
it's
there.
all the way down to 4 feet.
Where? Up in T.
Okay, well, line's okay.
Let it go. Let it go.
Line's
Gotta,
good.
gotta come down.
Yep.
Yep. Right, top
Yep.
4. Top 4.
Hard. Hard.
Weight's good now. Weight's good now. Yep.
Trying to
Hard!
possibly corner this
Whoa.
yellow stone. Looks like
Okay,
it's going
that's a
to
good
just
spot.
freeze to the nose or close to it.
I think you
Little
kinda
short
just
of it.
gotta nut that, don't you?
How many of them can you get to go here?
I'll tell you what, an
Reds.
outturn pound down the line could get a number of them going.
I don't know if we can get this one out, but I think we got to hammer it. Because, I mean, we can do that. We could play this, but you got to hit it perfect.
I think
That
that's
might
the
be
shot,
the shot,
Ty.
though, actually.
I think looking at those angles, you've got to hit that one a hair high and pound that
It's
yellow
more
one
than
in
a hair
there.
high. Like, you can hit
I
half
agree,
and
yeah.
make it perfect.
And you want to move those
I mean,
stones anyways just to try
You
to
hit
open that
half
lineup
with,
for
with
yourself.
peel. It's close to right there.
Sam can fire it pretty good. He can hit a sub 7. I think, you know, accuracy is important here, but you know, definitely getting enough weight on this is important as well.
Yeah, that's got the weight, no question about that.
Whoa! Whoa, 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 whoa,
Fading
whoa.
backwards.
Fortunately, we've seen that. I've seen that a number of times this week. If you're throwing a sub 7.5, you've got to take negative ice.
I got
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, you're not seeing any curl with that shot, and that one's going to fade back on that turn
You just tap it to. I mean, we don't have to
more than the other
if you
way.
want.
But
What do you think?
yeah, just you even heard. I think Rich called sweep out of hand for a second too. That
Yeah.
wasn't expecting that to
fade.
fade back with the way it
Sit
was
too.
released, but really nowhere near where they needed to hit that. So now, interesting decision again, Phil, for Jason Smith. We'll listen in and see what they have to
Leads
say.
just hang out down here. When they have their meetings, we should just start our own little leads, like rock, paper, scissors contest.
So they're considering what they want to do here.
Make this and then kind of sit on top of us, right? This, I mean, what's he gonna do with this in the next one?
We'll run it out then.
He's got to roll out, right? Well, I guess probably
What's
not.
the- Does it
Let's
hurt
play
us?
this hit. Let's just kill
No,
him.
if you
I
make
got
a
the
double,
lead,
we
so.
don't catch all the rest.
Just gonna play the red here, huh?
I don't know.
Or they play the double here?
I need to overthrow
Throw a
this
guard
one.
and make them make another run at it.
Yeah, they're
Rich will make
definitely
it.
playing the slash.
Double.
Double, I like it.
So,
That should be close. What do you think?
so do you think that this does this open an opportunity? Like right now, it's pretty hard to see how yellow gets two. This might open up an opportunity if he can.
We can either stick around.
Because this isn't going to stick
or,
around if he
make
makes the
that
double, right?
Yeah, it has to roll off making it.
Do you think this will curl back?
A little bit.
Maybe a hair less.
The way those
Less. I played more
red
weight.
rocks are staggered, the easiest way to lose as many as possible is playing the yellow into it. So killing this stone isn't really that big a deal, I don't think. I'm not sure if he needs to make the double as much as even just
sticking.
stick it right, hit and roll right in front of your own.
This one is not curling.
Curl!
Another one on that same turn too, Phil, just holding out wide on that side.
And that
And
did
it
not
bites.
get out.
Hammer it.
Is there any way to
I
get
think
two
it's
of them?
like 3/4 high.
Now, if you could ever somehow get
Looks like to me.
those back two moving and sit on top of the third stone, the top rock,
Still, if we go,
it's definitely a little bit of a jam
still
for
1-2, aren't they?
Richie to be in,
Yep.
or for I'm sorry for Smitty to be in.
So?
I know, but we got to make sure we can score, dude.
Well, I mean, if you look at
if
it,
I just
right?
hammer this, nut it right here, we get rid of two of them, at least move them out of the 4-foot, right?
Over.
Don't you
Good
think?
conversation
Because
here.
if I nose it and he makes a good
Sure.
guard, I got nothing. So just hammer this right there. Yeah.
Good point by Rich. Scores
No
1-0.
red's going into ours.
Make sure we score.
Didn't
Let's make
have-
sure we clear the rocks out of the 4-foot.
Yeah.
I think anything you can throw here that eliminates two red stones, regardless of where the shooter goes, is a good result. If you can ever keep the shooter too, that's ideal. But
Move them at least. We're gonna try to nut
if
it
you
right
can
in
lose two,
Okay, so we're trying to hit
you
it
still
what,
have
like
two other
third
rocks in the
top-
house.
Third high?
Yeah.
You could still find a 2 or a 3 somehow in
Give me
this
just a
end.
touch more.
Absolutely.
And with that, where that guard is too, that yellow stone that's in the side of the 4-foot isn't completely open.
Yep.
Rich used to be known as Dr. Double
Yep.
back in his younger days.
Whoa.
The opposite turn this time, curling a little bit more.
Pretty good shot by Rich.
Not bad.
Didn't quite get that one out. He needed to hit a little bit more of it.
Yeah, maybe just throw a little harder, Rich. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that squirts out the side, then now you're sitting 1 and 3. It's a much better situation. 1 and 4, not terrible. They're going to have a straightforward shot to score, even though they'll likely be looking at 3.
Watch this line here. This is that line that we've been a couple times teams have got caught up on, and it's ran a little bit straighter. So important to get the right weight. He's calling hack.
Yeah, even the corner guard that they threw didn't climb the center line to get over. So until this actually crosses center, it doesn't really curl. So you don't want to jump this one at all. It has to make that move to get across the center first.
Only taking a foot of broom for hack
Definitely
weight.
a little bit of positive release again, too.
Scott looks like he's close to hack.
Trying to get it to turn to stick around.
Just good enough.
2 biters, but yes, does move it to 4th count.
Here. Yeah. Remember, yeah, it's good right there.
Same thing again, Phil, that line, just not getting up, not getting over the center. And I think we're going to see that
You don't have to play to the back.
throughout the game because it's the same as we saw this morning, too, that particular turn.
Still like the 4-0?
Going towards sheet D,
Yeah, that's what we're thinking.
just holding straight, not getting across center.
Pretty much how you threw the
He
last
had,
one in the last.
11.5 weight, not bad weight. It just didn't move.
4-0.
And the release was a little positive, but it wasn't like it was popped hard or anything like that. So a draw against 3 for Rich Ruohonen.
Back line.
They're calling
Back
back
line.
line out of hand already.
Back line.
I got to figure out where can we find the
down.
backing.
Straight.
We're back
Four
forward.
now.
Back forward. Don't need it. Don't need it. Don't need it.
Gotta go.
Weight's good.
Sit, baby.
Still
saying-
coasting. I don't know.
Sit, baby.
Guys, we got
Sorry, Rich.
Yeah, I mean, that line that it ended up on, if they hammer it, would they even have still been able to hold it on that rock? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe
Just-
sweeping to carve it would have been the best option. See how many they end up hanging there.
Looked like a steal of 2.
I believe it was 2. We'll wait until we see this score for the break. Now holding going to the other sheet. Well, we'll call it a steal of 2 for the time being and say that it's Smith 3, Ruohonen 0 after 2. And we'll see if we're corrected after the break through 2 ends here. Draw 2 at the men's 2023 National Championships. Start of the third end in our feature matchup this afternoon. Team Smith, Team Ruohonen here at the 2023 Men's USA Curling National Championships. Tyler George with the legendary Phil Drobnik. Phil, little miscommunication there on that last shot from Team Ruohonen, going back and forth on whether or not
Right
they
here,
felt
Ken.
like the weight was
Line's good.
good enough to stop for shots. But again, not real
Line's
sure what they
good.
could have done
Easy here. I think the
with where that was coming down on that line to save it.
weight's real nice.
Yeah, I heard Rich having a
little
conversation with his team after that,
All right,
and
no
just
problem, guys.
reminding the
Get two.
sweepers that we need to hear from you. We need to make sure we know where the weight is, and to help to get rocks in good positions.
In the sweeper's defense on that shot too, they were talking throughout the shot. They were changing their opinion on where they thought it was going to end up, and once they made the call that they thought it was turning over and it was going to stop, they stuck with it. They just
you got
went
the
right.
room. You got the
Right.
room.
So you can you
got
can
the
get on
room.
them a little bit for the incorrect read, but
it
I
work.
don't
Let
think
it
there
work.
was much issue with the fact that they were trying to
Okay,
communicate.
go then, curl.
They just didn't read it correctly.
Go.
And I think it's important to make note that this team,
Easy.
Rich just joined this team and and has never played in a tournament or a competitive game with this team.
Perfect, Jared.
Has played a bunch of practice games and practiced with them, but really jumped in after they qualified for nationals through the points in the last event in Evelyn.
Very difficult to come into a national championship competition with so little time together on the ice, especially in this type of competition. Very good start for Team Smith. Jared Allen with a draw to the top of the button and a great tight center guard. Now Team Ruohonen going to the corners, trying to draw the game away from the middle a little bit.
Okay.
I think that's a key for Rich's team here moving forward. Really creating that play off the center line. Smitty did a great job
And honestly, they'll never
sucking
go
John
out.
into playing in the center last night, was able to get the win. And I think, see what kind of if a veteran like Rich can really suck that play off to the sides this game.
A nice start to the end for both teams this end. Leads with 2 perfect shots both.
Couldn't draw it up any better, really.
Yeah, that's how
All on
you
its
hand
own.
place those stones.
Go behind it.
Okay, go then. Yep.
No, we got it. It's right
Yep. Go. Yep. Straight.
So they're trying to
Straight,
throw an
yep,
out turn
straight.
draw right around
Hard.
here.
Straight. Hard.
Just going to click the guard.
A little bit of miscommunication there on trying to get the rock to curl and then trying to hold it straight. And Phil, I feel like over the last
I think I just like
3-4
control.
years
Okay.
that since the equipment has been regulated
It's
and
good.
we have a conforming
Stop it and roll
material
right
for all
here.
these brooms, that the reliance on getting a rock to curl and then holding it straight and then going back and forth, it's gotten to be a little much. That sometimes you look at it and say, well, if they never touched it either way, it would have been fine.
Close.
Yeah, I
Yep.
tend to agree with you, especially,
Gotta go.
a lot of that
Nice hit.
movement isn't happening till
Gotta
after
go.
the hog line.
Right.
And we hear a lot of it
Hard.
way before the hog
Hard.
line, right?
Hard. Hard.
And with
Good sweep.
how much
Just
you're
a-
able to hold stones from surface to surface, I don't think there's a ton of variance, but it does seem like with trying to get rocks to curl that teams are guessing, especially in the beginning of competitions, and trying to figure out exactly how much effect sweeping with the curl is actually giving. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong here, it seems like there's far more variance with that type of sweeping as opposed to sweeping against the curl.
There is, because you just don't know how hard it's going to go and when it's going to go, because you don't do that in practice. Nobody's sweeping to make it curl to figure that out.
Right.
So we saw that last night in the Casper Brockton matchup, a pivotal point for Casper. They over curled one and rolled out.
Yeah, and we've only had maybe 10 years of practice with
I'd like to make this
getting
double,
rocks to
right
carve
in the
as
middle.
opposed to 400 with trying to hold them straight.
A little high.
Absolutely.
I like this normal.
So
Okay, I'm
Rich
just
has
missing
got
all
an
of it.
opportunity here to
Nine,
kind of
9.5.
create the play to the side if he can make a little double and roll.
It's gonna run real straight here, boys.
And we saw Connor Kaufman with a little bit of a outward release last end. Looked like he cleaned that one up pretty good.
Yep.
Decent release.
Yep.
Easy! Whoa!
Whoa, whoa,
Whoa!
whoa, whoa,
And still
whoa.
going backwards.
Good throw. My bad.
Richie might have got a little antsy on the sweep there and
I was going to say we should just rip their guard
ends up fading back.
or make the run at theirs.
Yeah, that's a tough line there,
Wanna
Ty.
just
They
spike the
took no
button.
broom.
Take care of that.
They're through a normal weight hit, put it in the middle of the rock
On the
And
straight side
on
as
the
well.
straight side,
Yeah.
and
90, 95.
it's just a tough line.
That ends another curling 101 bit too.
Weight's good.
If you're sweeping
See,
against the
top
curl,
four.
the time where you're
Hey,
going to
well,
have the
coming down,
most
coming
effect
down.
Line's good.
is right at the
Yep,
beginning
gotta
of the
go.
shot.
Line's
They
good.
swept that one
Yep.
right out of Connor's hand,
Top
and that
four.
rock went
Hard.
backwards when they
Backwards.
got on it.
Yep.
So you have to be very
Hard.
careful with
Line's
those early
perfect.
sweep
Go, guys.
calls of kind of
Hard.
destroying the line on those shots.
Hard, go! Hard! Hard all the way in,
Really
guys.
nice
Go, go, go,
looking
go, go,
shot
go, go,
here.
go, 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 go. That's a good spot. Great one.
Very sweet.
Well done by
we
Dominic
gotta play the
Markey,
double, right?
perfectly placed again behind that guard. Team Smith looking very sharp
Maybe
early. A
try
couple
to
of
hammer it right there. See if
hits
we can
that
kick
floated out on straighter lines. Other than that,
Heel. I'm gonna
definitely
play it tight,
keeping Team
intern.
Ruohonen chasing in the early going.
Yeah, they had Team Ruohonen had an opportunity there, didn't take advantage of it, and now it's
Whoa.
all Team Smith right now.
Yep.
Need a double to get out of this.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Go, 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 go,
Oh,
go,
is
go.
that a fantastic shot? Wow.
Great shot.
Real
That
good.
one will turn an end around in a hurry.
Great shot.
Not a double, but a triple. Move 3 rocks.
Yeah, they maybe shot rock. That's very close.
They're shot.
Smitty's saying that Ruohonen is indeed shot rock, so
It's even better of a shot.
Miss it this way, though, if you're going to miss it.
that's an incredible shot. Those are the ones you set up in practice just for fun.
Yeah, Sam, great setup there by Sam. You know, they got to get a 2 here.
Turn, yep.
Put up 2 points. Got a great opportunity. They got a corner guard now too. Team Smith calling the run back here. Run double.
Whoa! Yep!
Yep.
Yep!
Yes.
Hard!
One over curls just a little bit.
Okay.
See if it might spin onto the rings. Looks like it's still going back to the wall.
And that was that should
I
be
think
the
it's almost
that
a
should
draw
be the
even if
curly
it
side,
is.
right?
Right.
Which we saw.
Yep. Yeah, not a big surprise there, but
Might be.
it's a
I
good
think
thing
it's
to
this
see
either
that
way,
that's
though.
been
I think
consistent
so,
throughout
too.
the draws too. You can't really have complaints from teams about one side doing one thing and one doing another if it's the same thing every single time. You can play to that, and the teams that read it better will be the more successful teams. But yeah, 3 draws now. We've seen the same thing, that the curl going
Head real
towards
close.
sheet A has been more severe
we're a
than the
little
curl
top
going
light.
towards sheet D.
Line's
So odd
pretty
ends
good.
going to the
Need
left,
the curl now.
even ends going to the right.
Stop it.
Okay, whoa.
Where do you
Right
want
at the
it?
end. Right at the end.
Trying
Should
to
get some good finish here.
A little heavy.
trying to even these up and not leave a double, right?
We're to the tee right now.
Yeah, go.
Yeah,
keep
not
going.
as
Go
concerned
hard, go
about
hard.
being behind the guard
hard,
now
go
as
hard,
you
go
are
hard,
about
go
being
hard, go
even.
It's all right, Sam.
Okay,
That's
that's
a
fine.
good spot. And with a 3-0 lead, it's kind of an interesting decision for
We're shot over here.
Team Smith. That's the freeze looks to be the best shot, but you're playing it with a 3-point lead.
Yeah.
You know, it's a tough one, right, Ty? Like it's
Have an inch more to be
yeah,
safe,
yeah,
but
you-
not-
you got to make it, and you know, like I said, it does look to be the right shot, but
Just freeze to it.
you don't make it, and all of a sudden, 3's in play for Richie.
Right to the nose.
Jason
14.
taking Smith right in the middle of the 4-foot, close to it.
I had a 14. I had 14.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I had 14-4 on that one.
So 90-95?
Yeah. 90-95.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Still a good one in there.
Skip Jason Smith with this out-turn freeze. His first stone of the 3rd end.
Pair up. T-line's right
Line's
to
good.
it. Go a little bit.
Line's an important
Line's
piece
a
here.
little bit. We're just to it.
Line's
Just
A little
right
good.
more
to
Just
it.
do
curl
it.
on this line. You expect
Line's
this
good,
to
just
turn
do it.
over.
It's
It is turning now.
Just do
Go a
it.
little. Go a little.
Line's good.
14-4, same weight
Line's
as
good.
Whoa, whoa.
Sam threw.
Yep. Whoa.
Right to it.
Whoa.
That's well done by Smitty.
Freeze it up.
Atoning for that
Little bumps like not the end
deep
of the
draw
way.
on the first end that may not have
think you gotta
stopped
just
as
play it
yet.
straight
We
freeze,
can
though.
tease him about that after he
Yeah.
makes a really good one.
Isn't it better to
That's right, but there is an opportunity here for Richie to
Bro, this timer just
play the freeze here and then maybe get a setup for his last one, right?
Yeah, if you can tap this just a little bit and make sure that it unlocks on that back stone, we'll have very good position and probably force Jason to play the same freeze back again.
So
This is one of those
For
shots
14 and a half.
where line is
Yeah.
really important
Right.
because you got to stay on the high side of that red stone if you want to bring the other 2 yellows into play.
All right. Right to it. Little taps, okay.
okay.
It's more about the line.
Could have
Feel
just
like
waited for Rich
back
to say that.
tee.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
can bump. We got 5 inches of room to bump them. So.
You guys are still
I think in the
connected
4-0 is
even
the
after
number
all
for
these
you.
years. He can hear you
He can hear
in
me.
his mind. I know you can still hear him in your mind, whether you want to or
You
not.
can't get rid of him in your mind, even if you try.
Rich Ruohonen with the outturn freeze.
I had 93. It looked a little
A
soft.
little bit of a
Just
pop on
little
that
soft. Like,
release. I
ain't
mean, he
that
thought
We're
it
like
was soft,
back
but
4 right now.
From
Whoa,
our angle, it
whoa.
looked like a little bit of a pop.
yeah, I didn't see the soft
whoa,
release
whoa.
there.
We're back 4.
Whoa.
It hasn't got across
Just
the
back
center
4.
yet, so
Whoa,
it's not
it's got a
turning.
curl. Whoa.
We're just
Now it's
back.
trying.
Whoa.
Just tapping a little.
Never.
We're a little heavy.
Yeah, I saw the same as you, Phil. I thought that was just a little bit of pop on the release, so it didn't turn over.
But if you freeze, I don't know.
Depends on what we're lying, right? You just don't want them to run it.
Yeah, I agree with Smitty. Just drill both these stones and
So if you kill that when they're getting
let them
up
play
in
the run for 2,
As
as opposed to leaving something else. You might be able to stick around playing with normal pass and roll into the outside.
I think it's a good opportunity to throw one of those 9.5 doubles, and the rocks are pretty close together. Just make the double, roll to the other side, and
Yeah.
probably get a force to 1.
Yeah, nose is a real tough double. actually. That might be the call. Let's play nose.
Nose.
Smitty seems to think nose doesn't leave the double. I'm not so sure about
Not
that.
a big weight either. We could double and roll over.
Ty, is it a time in the game? Say he makes this nose shot like called that Rich would just play the run double and hope to try to have a run double for 3. You know, with the two reds staying there.
Hack weight. Nose is real good. If for whatever reason.
I think if the nose double's there for 2,
Are we playing
you don't
double?
really need to play
Okay.
the run for 3. I think it's getting a 2 in this end and cutting it to
Huge.
3-2 after 3s. You're plenty close within range, but Smitty seems to think that if he gets this on the nose, that it's still safe. I'm not sure if that's the case.
Okay, line's good.
Yep.
Easy.
Whoa,
easy.
whoa.
This is really going to curl now once
yes,
this
yes,
crosses.
Yes.
There it
Probably
goes.
gonna get the inside roll.
Hard. Hard. Hard.
Boy.
Maybe good enough.
Yeah, with the shooter going down, you mean?
Can you get enough of that stone, Phil, to get 2?
Probably not. Yeah.
Looks
What?
like he's got a little more than half.
That's tough. Yeah, you got
Not
like
like half. I just don't know if it's gonna get out far enough.
Thick half. Is there any way to make that? I don't think it has to be thinner. It's
Is it
probably
gonna
here
roll off
and
the
just
red?
rolling in here somewhere.
Not real sure whose second count.
Yeah, just split that off.
That would make a difference in whether or not you ever thought about
Yeah,
playing
like
that run
four,
back.
Like 11, yeah, I like it.
I just don't think it's
Just
far
play-
enough in the game yet
try to
where
get- try to get
scoring isn't still
right there
important.
and just tick it and roll to here.
I think they gotta just try to play this soft weight, and if you get 1, you get 1, and if you get 2, it's a bonus.
Yeah, 11-5, I like it. Just get as close to nose as we can.
It's hard
Spin
because
off.
if you don't get close to nose and it jams and the shooter rolls, you still may end up
All right,
giving
boys,
up a
big shot
point
here.
if you roll out of the
Yeah,
4-foot.
11-5. All we got to do is get
But if
get
it
close to nose.
if it
I
gets
mean,
close to the
not
guard,
nose,
I
but
think
like
this is
3
still there for
quarters.
2.
Just a little high, yeah. Just make sure we get it for 1, too.
You only have to move these rocks to not even all the way out of the 8-foot, just to not full 8s to score 2 points.
This is one where you gotta be just kind of let it curl in there.
And I think this one will curl a lot earlier than his last one with
Weight's good.
this getting across the center.
Yes!
Here it goes.
Yep! Weight's really good. Yeah! Hard! Hard, whoa!
Red one. Red one. Hard Sam.
Get it!
Go.
Roll it,
Oh,
roll
just caught a piece of
Ah,
the
real close, Rich.
Just
yellow one. Actually hit a little bit too good.
too good. Yeah, he hit it. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, you're good. Can never
A
jam.
little more weight, maybe. Just a little light, maybe. Close, though.
Still a good shot by Ruohonen to get on the board, and very important not to go down another point. So after 3 ends of play, Team Smith 3 and Team Ruohonen 1.
Twin Cities Orthopedics is ready to go with more doctors, specialty services, and convenient urgent care locations. Ready, set, TCO.
And number 3 of Draw 2, 2023 Men's USA Curling National Championships. Jason Smith with a 3-1 lead and the hammer over Team Ruohonen. Tyler George and Phil Drobnik in the booth. Phil, the first guest commentator we've had in the booth that joins me in a Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. Favorite beverage of the week.
Couldn't turn it down.
Decent bump.
Okay, line's good. Back here.
Jared Allen playing the intern draw. Smith electing to go into the house now,
bring it
Phil,
back
and
here,
keep
then.
things open. Try to
Okay, all the way to my broom.
keep things
all the way to my
from
broom.
bunching up in the center of the sheet.
Yep,
Don't mind this
go,
call
go.
with a
Back here.
2-point
Get back
lead
here,
and
hard.
hammer, especially with how tight that guard is too. Anything that goes behind it, it's a very short run back, and Richie will have to throw another guard on top of it. Likely see Smitty elect to go under on the next one.
Yeah, down 2 without, you're looking at throwing up double centers and trying to really force the play to the middle and get rock position in the middle of the sheet.
1.
He's going to have to ignore the ones on
Okay,
the
right across,
on the
right
edge.
here.
Rich is going to have to ignore the ones on the
Keep it
edge,
just on the edge of
this
the line.
end, and
Always
really
straight
go
right
aggressive
now.
to the
Pretty good.
middle to try to force a couple
Always
points.
straight.
Force the play to be in the 4
We're
foot.
over now.
Okay, well then, Wool.
Let's test your knowledge of
Good.
Team Smith here.
Good shot, Aiden.
You expect to draw to the wing or coming underneath with this next one?
I think, I was going to say pretty much have to go under right now.
Yeah.
Because you can't you don't want to allow them to have 2 center guards and 1 on the top of the 4 foot.
Yeah, I agree with the call here. Jared Allen's out-turn draw. Trying to get this to top 8, top 4, no deeper.
No big ad.
Where?
It really had. So just let it kind of grind.
Line's
Whoa.
good.
Phil Jared
Whoa,
very
straight.
vocal throughout the
Yep.
game on each shot, whether he's
Hard.
throwing or sweeping.
Right here. Yeah, hard
Good
line.
communicator.
Hard line, yes.
Yeah, definitely
Hard.
is. And
Hard, guys,
as we
go.
said, this team working real
Hard.
hard on their game.
Hard, go get it in. Hard, hard,
I
hard.
would like to
Go,
get it
go,
on
go,
the
go, go,
paint
go,
at
go,
the
go,
least
go, go,
here.
go. Good, real good.
And does get a biter out of it.
It's a shot that probably makes Rich pretty happy, though. That's
Yes.
another center guard.
Definitely staggering those off. And
Make this good.
Looking at
Even
the
if
other
it's here,
sheets,
it's okay. You got to be
Team
buried.
Dropkin leading 2-1 on Dunham through 3 ends.
The same out here, isn't it?
Sampson with a 2-1 lead over Schuster after a 2-point end in the 3rd. And Danny Casper 3-1 over Daryl Sobering through 3 ends on sheet D. Phil, we're well aware that Team Schuster has had some
Line's
slow
good. We got
starts in
room right
major
now.
competitions over the years. Usually Nationals was not one where that was the case
right
for
off
them.
for now. Right off
But
for now. It's getting
not a
better.
team that's afraid to have to go on a run
Oh, can't touch.
or
Can't
win
touch,
streak
can't
at any
touch.
point, regardless of the start of the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are veterans. They've been around the block. One thing to make note of, though, this is the first year that we've had an 8-team national championship. So only 7 games in the round robin.
That's a
So
very good
once you
point.
start to hit that 3rd loss, you might be looking at potentially not getting to the playoffs. So, it is a little different this year.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was always glad when we had more games to catch up. Because I think we figured out at some point that the 3 worlds that we played in from 2015 through 2017, our record after
Hit it, don't you?
5 games was something like a
Hey,
combined
we got to make
6
this.
and 9.
Yeah.
And then our record the rest of the competition was somewhere
Well, normal.
around 17 and 1.
Right.
So-
Yeah, it's
Nothing
Normal.
new to get behind the 8 ball, and it's not ideal, but it's a good thing to have that experience and know that no matter how big a hole you dig yourself in, you have the opportunity to get back out again.
we saw Team Smith there trying to play the double peel and ended up getting the single on the straight spot
Whoa,
again,
curl.
missing on the wide side.
Yep, curl. Hard.
Another one
Hard,
that
hard.
playing a
Easy.
straight
Hard,
turn
hard,
and trying
roll
to
it,
get
roll
it
it.
turn over and
Whoa, 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 whoa.
turned it a little more than we thought. And
All right, good
Richie
shot.
joins
Sit. That's
Smitty
good.
in the swear jar.
That's fine.
Didn't sweep him a lot back there.
I couldn't tell if he said, I thought he said sit.
Sit? Okay.
Yeah, I think he said sit. Although I'm sure TSR would be happy to make a donation to a charity of our choice in the jar.
I don't know. 11? Just knows it?
So, yes.
11.
Ty, this is an interesting position in an end. You're up by 2. There's a couple of center guards up there. He's choosing to hit one in the back of the 12-foot. Put yourself in this spot.
Yep.
What do you like in this spot?
I have to assume that
Clean up.
that yellow stone is shot, so
Clean,
there's
yep.
no reason for
Hard.
Smitty to play this shot.
Hard.
But
Right to it,
with
right
those
to it.
rocks staggered on the center,
Okay,
yeah,
real good, Hunter.
2-point lead and hammer. I don't think I'd want to leave those there. I think I probably would have played the split on my own stone on the center line. Take that stagger away and get 2 counters.
You have room.
Yeah, I always hate leaving staggered guards when I've got the hammer,
to
because
make
then I don't
that.
have a run back and I don't have an out, and especially when I got a 2-point lead.
Right.
What?
And as opposed to thinking, well, we can't leave the stagger, let's
Like
blow
that?
it up. You don't have to. You can just move that stone with a
Hack.
through the house weight type of shot, split and sit 2, and now you have no stagger to deal with it. I think if they just took an extra couple seconds to think about that one, maybe they would have got to that point. Because as you said,
Yep.
those overlapping guards, that stagger is the most dangerous thing in this end, hands down for Team Smith.
Correct.
And I would guarantee that Richie
Hack.
was happy to see
Little down.
the hit plate on that back stone
Little
too.
white.
Yeah,
Yep.
real important for Rich to stay,
Whoa.
hit and stay, and
Hack.
remain
Yep.
shot.
Yep.
Weight's good.
Yep. Gotta go.
Just hack.
Gotta go.
Just hack.
Gotta go.
All right, you gotta go.
This is the
All the way
curly
down.
side.
Dig
Gotta
right.
go, Eden.
Keep
Gotta
going.
go. Okay.
Bumps
pretty
it
good.
out, but
Fine.
looks that might be biting on the back of the 12-foot.
This is in. That's not. We're shot.
We're shot. That back one's in.
Do you like splitting the
There you go, Ty.
There's the call.
Or we just go straight around it.
Go right around it, you said.
I like Dom's
Go down,
call,
go,
and
go,
I
go,
actually
go.
like Jared telling him
We
to
got
talk
time, go
about him a
down.
little bit too.
You can see his leadership
Yeah.
skills, even though it's a different sport,
No, that one's
just
out.
making sure the communication
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the
the
team
red one's out.
is important.
This is in. I think we just go around it, right? I think if we can get like right here, it's pretty good.
I don't mind the come around in this spot now
It is, yeah.
that they have shot rock, and they can just play to beat them to that spot. I still might favor the split, just because as soon as you make that tick, regardless of where the rocks end up, as soon as you change that stagger around with this 2-point lead, you're probably going to be out of danger no matter what. Scoring a point in this end is the most important thing with that 2-point lead. Your worst case, you want to make sure you're up by 3. And as long as those rocks are still cornered, Richie always has a chance to steal. So rock
Hey,
placement
where?
here will be very important.
Line's good. Close. Okay,
Yeah, I agree. This goes deep, and Richie's got an opening.
Okay, no, line's good. Line's good.
Should get a good finish here. This line will curl a little bit more. Looks like it's going to be just barely behind the tee, so this is exactly what Richie wanted.
All right.
I hesitate to say it's what the
14-3
doctor ordered
on
because
that
he's not
with no
Dr. Double
sweep.
anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's.
It
I don't
is.
think Richie could have asked for a better setup now with the rock to freeze to and that stagger.
You're like
So
pretty, yeah.
again,
you
not
go-
playing that split.
I think the split was the call there too, and just keep the center open. Make sure you score. Now,
TeeLine
Sam's got
right
to take
now.
advantage of this opportunity. These are
Hold
one of
on,
the points in
whoa.
the game where you
Back
really
four.
got to
Real heavy.
make the
Whoa,
team pay for
whoa.
not putting the
Yep.
rock in the right position.
Line up.
Oh,
Wait.
They're
Line
calling
over.
heavy,
Yep.
but the speed
Yep.
should
Back
come
four.
off this a little
Yep.
bit on this line.
Almost
Hard.
back 8. Hurting.
Hard.
Hurting. Come on.
Hard.
Hurting.
Whoa. Whoa. Okay, that's good.
Real good.
And that's a pro side shot too, Phil, with the weight being
Somewhere
there
we gotta peel those
with
cover
that
too, right?
backing
Yeah.
on the side that curls a little bit more. So you make sure that you get by, make
They
that
can just
bump on
go
the
to
opposite
it. I
side,
mean-
playing for a little bit of backing. That rock might coast a little bit.
They were pretty tight to
Rich
the broom
has
and got.
got to be happy about the setup still
This
in
is
this
probably
end.
just going here,
He
but I
plays in
guess
the
that's not
center.
the end of the world.
He's counting. There's a couple of center guards, so he's still in a good position. He's really thinking steal is. He's hoping he can get a steal or a force, and in a good position, it should be able to do that.
Well, we-
Yeah, this end didn't get to a point where it was desperation with the scoreboard the way it is. You're
mean,
starting
yeah,
to
I mean,
think,
we can
well,
play
we'd
this.
like
I
to
mean,
steal when we
that's-
get the chance.
yeah,
But now that they have the
something like
opportunity,
that.
it's absolutely going
Yeah, I
for
think that's
the
good.
steal for Team Ruohonen.
Talking about playing the split now, Ty.
Probably just board.
We could lock him in first.
Yeah, that I still don't mind it. I
Board?
think
Yeah.
it's late on the shot on the decision, but we're hearing board, so I'm not sure exactly how far they're trying to move these over. I guess they're making sure that when they make contact, it won't be staggered anymore. But actually, it looks like they're just hitting the top yellow one.
Taking no broom here, hey?
Yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Definitely had an outward motion on that release.
Yeah, this should run straight.
Board, full board. Jared.
Go, Jared. Go, Jared.
Will roll out of the rings and Ruohonen will bite. But
That's closer. I
looks
can
as
see
though
white under that one. I can
Smith
see
is
white
definitely
under that. I can't
second.
see any white there.
Trying to tell who's third.
I don't either.
I would
I don't
guess
either, but
yellow
if you go
from the
short, he's
overhead,
playing
but
the
again,
run.
overheads
No,
were wrong
I'm
pretty
gonna
much
say,
every time. So
I mean, this is safest, but
I don't hate
we
going
could
down
play
to
to
the
here, but then he's playing the run. If he makes the run double, we could be in a little trouble.
True, and probably jams that.
if that curls up a little bit more and rolls and
there
stays in
any
the
space
house,
here? Just edge
not
that.
so
Smith would
bad
have
of
been
a
sitting
Yeah.
2-3-4. And actually in pretty good
Ever hit the red
position.
and flop?
Yeah, interesting conversation here. Just deciding whether do they freeze the back red one? Do they throw an in-turn draw under there?
Another guard, but you could throw a
Is
guard
it, that's
on
what
it.
I was wondering, Ty, is the guard the call on this one to make them
I
peel?
mean, this is not bad.
Are we 1-3?
Yeah,
You like
you can
this?
guard and stagger the
Yeah,
center
Aiden's
one
thought
for
was they
red,
ripped the double.
and the yellow, even if you could see a piece, it's still playing back into a jam on that redstone in the back of the 8-foot.
Oh, honestly,
Another
first,
thought here, Ty, is they were talking about throwing the
like
in-turn
that.
draw to the
That's
top of
giving
the
up a
8-foot.
deuce.
What about
Like,
the
if we
in-turn
either throw
draw?
the guard,
Just get a quarter
we
under
go
in the
here,
12-foot.
But then he's got
Like
a
just
3-foot
inside
run
the
back.
top
Yeah.
guard.
so you freeze it. You're trying
Yeah,
to.
we'll listen in and
Side
see
of
what
it.
they're
Yeah,
thinking
then his
here.
only shot is to rip it into there. He's probably,
Good
he's
Dr.
gotta roll
Pepper
out.
Zero
Is
Sugar
he gonna
break.
do that, or is he gonna like flop in here?
He might do that.
Kind of throw the run.
I think this is a shot.
Okay,
Over curl to here if we can.
sure.
Yeah, I think we're like there probably.
Ty, goes with the
We're
draw.
going with
Yeah,
the
it will
draw
go
here,
with the
Ty.
draw, but not like
Kind of
half Yeah,
goes
like
along with what you had said. The strategy in the end is get a force out of this. He throws a freeze on this rock and then puts himself in a pretty good position to probably get the
Probably like
force
a
instead of
90?
going hard at a steal and giving up
What are you
a
thinking, like
2 or 3.
95 will be there.
Yeah, and I think factoring into this too,
86 on that one that was way heavy on.
now Rich is
95.
playing the,
So 95 is good.
I believe is the, let's see, he's playing his outturn freeze.
I think I need a little more. I think we got to make sure we're by.
I'm with you.
If Smith does end up playing this little hack weight hit and roll on that rock in the 4-foot, that's going to be on that swing
big
turn
hat.
too. I wouldn't mind if I'm Rich
Make
making
sure
him
right
throw
now.
that shot,
Make sure I'm there.
seeing if he reads that line, if it doesn't turn over a little bit more.
Wait's real close.
This really needs to curl still though. Again, straighter side.
Only
to
wait,
it.
it'll get there. It'll get there. Whoa.
Little heavy. Little heavy.
Whoa. Whoa.
Not bad. Ends up second shot, which is the most important thing.
Right? Yeah, a little hit and roll under.
There is a possible double for
Um,
Smith now too, but
just
with the way
that.
this curls on this line, Phil, you can definitely get underneath.
Yeah, you can definitely get underneath here. The only downside is if you hit it just a hair on the high side and you jam it, and all of a sudden Rich is going to have a hit and roll to lay 3.
Yeah, I would call it just hack, but I think we probably got to throw back.
Yeah, I agree with that from Smitty. A little less weight to make sure you get a little extra curl.
Just a little hit.
We'll see. I would expect on this line, if we see anything, maybe hammering it to get by with. That broom is awfully tight for this side of the sheet on this shot.
We heard
Mind
somebody
an inch or two more.
told the sweepers get ready to sweep.
Yeah.
They're sweeping right out of his hand.
Hard. Hard.
Yeah, no chance there. Just
Yeah,
like
but they're
we
gonna
saw,
play.
Phil.
He's going to make another shot that he didn't call. He missed that by 1.5 feet.
Yeah, that was nowhere near. And I don't think that they're reading the difference between the two sides of the sheet right now on the curl. So I think if you take that broom on the opposite side, he makes the shot. But there is that much difference on that shot.
And he threw this exact weight he called. He threw a 12.5 called hack weight, so
This and lay one.
just misreading the ice.
Play the run. There.
I mean, it's so much easier for us up here with this monitor and being able to watch the
And
sheet,
being able to watch
obviously.
the overhead.
Yeah.
Well, even Rich on the outturn straighter side, misread it a little
Right.
bit because his draw, he was playing to freeze on there.
Yeah.
It's you go from side to side, it makes it tough for
I
skips.
don't
Yep,
hate it.
and we don't want
That's
to
a-
pile on with this, but
Go
as
for it.
a competitor and
Right
as
here.
a coach,
Go right here.
by this point in the tournament,
I think
third
for him,
game, the second for the men's, but third game overall, the
like,
straighter
there.
side, swing side has been the same every game.
It'll go.
Correct.
So it's something that the team should be picking up on by this
I think
point.
that's the shot.
Ideally, you're reading it from the first half of the first game
Kinda
on,
playing hard for the
as
steal.
long as it
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah, I think
change.
so,
And
but I even
this has been
Yeah.
consistent throughout.
get to
So
the edge of the button.
I mean, worst case.
teams
we
that
give
pick up
here,
on it
right?
sooner
Is
are the
that
ones
kinda
that get these wins early
Well, if I
in the
draw
week.
to the back one, he can't miss.
Ty, like in
Yeah,
the
it's
call
true.
that Rich is playing the
Yeah.
draw under the center guard here.
The other option.
Yeah, this is all rock position now. You really want this to get to the center line if you can and
When I was seeing this,
overbury.
I was seeing it with the end.
Because I don't think Smitty will be afraid to play the run double if this ends up in a spot where it's there. So you don't want it sitting right in front of your own stone. You don't want it cornered. But overburying would definitely be where you want to be.
I had 83
And this is the
big
side
ends.
that should curl enough to
Whoa.
get to that center line.
A little less than that. Back,
Back
end.
8.
I would bet that this is going to turn over a little bit
Coming
once
down.
it gets inside the middle of the eights. Here it
It's
goes.
coming down. We're back 4. Just back 4.
Yeah, just heavy on that shot. I think the line wasn't that bad. It would have
Yeah, just heavy.
turned over.
Okay. Huh?
You like the run now, Phil?
I think he's just got a little double for 2. Just a nose double for 2.
I like hack.
Yeah. Does he have enough? I guess I thought maybe that was a little tighter to the guard.
5, right? You'd be fine.
Side, we only get one.
That
Yeah,
booty's
I
good
guess
right there.
he's got a little more space than it looks
That's
like.
heavyweight at it.
Yeah, for 2.
Maybe that double is there for 2, and only have to move it out of the 4-foot.
Just has to spin on
Thank
the
you, Smitty.
4-foot, so 10-5.
So 10-5 Ty, and he's not taking much broom.
Nose is good. Little roll in.
Yeah, I didn't learn much from the last one apparently.
10-5 is I mean,
Just back line, okay.
I wouldn't be surprised at all to see a scrub necessary on this shot too. So Jason Smith's last shot here of the 4th end. Possible double for 2.
Yep. Yep.
Sweeping
Right on.
hard out of hand again.
Hard! Hard!
And Rex
and
the
yeah,
guard.
they're just not reading that side, eh?
Yeah, that just never looked like close to enough room for that shot.
Steal a 2.
So that is a big swing, 4-point swing on the scoreboard for Team Smith. Ruohonen with the steal of 2. After 4 ends, the score now 3-3.
The everyday person may not aspire to be a professional athlete or an Olympic athlete. You may just want to be the best person you can be. You just may want to sleep better. You may want to feel better. Thorne has many products that can support all of those things. So it's not just about performing or running faster or jumping higher. It's those little things that go into having a higher quality of life.
Beginning of the 5th end. Our feature game today, Jason Smith and Rich Ruohonen. Big steal of 2 in the 4th for Team Ruohonen.
Yeah, that's
really right from the start. We were talking at the break that you expect to see the adjustments made from shot to shot on where they're putting the brooms, and just never looked like Jason had enough to make that shot.
Yeah, it was a tough end there for them. They did have an opportunity to make a double for 2, and now the momentum switch, and Rich's team feeling pretty good. It's being tied 3, but just a note, Ty, I think it's worth mentioning that they failed to move those rocks in the center. Rich had that opportunity, and it really ended up costing them.
Yeah, that split was there for multiple shots early in the end to open that up and take away any opportunity for a steal for Team Ruohonen. And
What's really nice about this?
they could have played it on 3 consecutive shots
Yeah.
to open things up. And Dominic Markey on the second opportunity actually called it, and Richie opted to play the clean draw around instead. And it's every bit as much about playing the scoreboard and
Gets up, sweeps his own.
reading what your opponent wants to accomplish as what you're trying to
Skip a
accomplish.
break, you know?
I don't know. You hate to give Rich too much credit, but he really sucked them into playing out in the middle, and he took advantage of it and got a steal it too. So credit to Rich there for being able to do that and forcing them into
just
it.
play the weight.
So
Line's okay.
we're seeing a little change in strategy here
Line's okay.
for
Play the
Team
weight. Right
Smith.
to it. Whoa.
Last end, they went to the corner.
close.
This end going immediately under the center guard.
Yeah, much different situation with the score 3-3 as opposed to 3-1 with Hammer. Taking that position away. They really don't. They want to pull the game to the outside of the sheet if they can, but they don't want to let Ruohonen beat them into the center and chase. So in this situation, going to the outside of the sheet, I think they figured they're going to be chasing again if Ruohonen goes underneath. So beat them in instead.
So Jared's trying to come right back under. A good shot by Aiden Oldenburg. Tapped them back and remained in the top of the 8-foot.
Just glancing around at the other sheets, Phil, you see a 3 for Team Dunham to take a 4-2 lead over Corey Dropkin.
It's been a team Corey struggled with, in the past. Last year in the trials, they nipped him in the first game, and he's had a couple losses to him in national championships. So, Scott Dunham's been is a great player, and certainly has been able to get the best side of Corey a time or two.
I know we've talked a lot about with Team Dropkin over the years that they can beat anybody in the world, but they do have lapses in games where you would expect them to be the better team. And that's not to say that Team Dunham isn't a good team, but just looking at track record and success on tour, Team Dropkin, they've worn the flag, represented our country as well. You expect them to, and they expect to win games like that. But that's where we've seen the difference between them and John Schuster over the last few years is Corey plays John as good as anybody in the world and definitely as well as anybody in the country, but then seems to have those, I don't want to say letdowns, but little lapses where they lose focus and maybe aren't quite as sharp as they are in other games.
Well, and they played a pretty intense game last night against a rival of Danny Casper, and I say a rival because Danny and Andrew grew up close family friends, and that's a big match between the two of them.
And early in the week as well, too, with these games. We saw John Schuster take a loss in the opening game last night to Jason Smith, and
nice shot.
look at that double run back by
Hunter
Connor
Clausen.
Kaufman. Now sitting 2 again.
Hey, we're going here. Okay.
Big swing in the action.
Yeah, Rich is going to have to get one frozen on this one. Really flip this end around right now with Smith laying 2 and the hammer.
Yeah, sorry, I meant to say Connor's throwing now, but really
light at.
well played shot by
Line's pretty good.
Clausen.
Out of freeze. Yep. Straight right now. Where are we? Okay, straight. Yep, straight. Hard set. Whoa, right to it. Play the weight. It's straight. It's always straight. Right to it. Gotta freeze. All right, good shot.
Great shot there by Connor Kaufman.
And now it's a great shot by Connor.
You were just calling it ahead of time.
I had a feeling, I guess. Yeah.
Jason walking up and peeling the center guard this end.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much an auto call with where these rocks are lined up right now for Smith. Not going to let the guards hurt him this time like they did the last end.
And I don't think you get crazy on this. Just peel it off and, make Rich make a decision as to what to do. Because Rich has got to be careful with Red having 2 in there.
Hunter Clausen following up that run double from his last shot, just with the straight peel. That's well played.
I think just control.
Hit and roll.
We're electing to play the intern hit and roll on the straight side. So you see that broom on a third of the stone. I think that's fairly accurate from
Little
what
down.
we're seeing
Weight's
on
good.
this side of the sheet.
Oh.
Straight here.
Curl.
Wait.
Curl. Gotta go hard.
Really sweeping to make it
Keep
curl.
going, you got it. Hard. Keep going. Little roll if we can.
Rich is trying to
Roll it.
wish it in
All right.
there, but doesn't
Fine.
quite get it.
See what
Good weight.
happened when those hit?
Took 2 inches of broom, and it still didn't move the 2 inches.
Yeah, it was maybe a little on the full side, but not much forgiveness on that turn.
I like the call though, Ty. Like, you know, he's. I mean, the game's tied now, so Rich doesn't have to get carried away playing too aggressive. If he makes that hit and roll, and he's in good shape.
Yeah, with the rocks positioned the way they were, I think that's the correct play from Rich. You would have liked to roll that onto the paint if you could, but
Just hit. Whoa.
avoiding the 2-point end from Smith, attempting to.
Get it out, Jason. Go. Come on, Jason.
A little surprised at that rock not
All right, we just
finishing
make
as much,
that.
I think.
Right
Maybe
here,
a little
just roll a
farther
little
on the
bit.
outside.
Control again.
Now a good position for Team Ruohonen.
Control.
No real danger.
Yeah, good opportunity to get a force here.
A little more weight.
Yep. 10. Whoa. Yep. Whoa.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Whoa. Whoa. It's good. Oh, it's good. It's really good. It's really good. Whoa.
No roll.
Rich is saying it's really good, but I think he's more so hoping
boy,
it's really
Sam.
good.
It's fine.
That's not bad, Phil. That's not bad.
We've heard that a number of times over the years.
I don't mind it. Oh, good setup for Ruohonen for the force. I think you see Smith try to have Dominic Markey roll towards the center of the sheet to possibly set up either getting behind that corner guard or having a double to get a blank later in the end.
Yep.
They're on this one.
Curl.
Nose hit.
That's not bad.
Just
See
throw
a
normal.
Quick call from Ruohonen to play the hit and stick.
A little less. We'll throw normal, huh? Out here? That's what he just had. Yeah, I got 935 on his.
I like that communication there, Ty. I think it's important to talk about. A lot of times we see teams, you know, just walk up, they throw 10-5 normally, and it's on the outside. Make sure you throw the right weight.
Whoa.
9.
Whoa.
Yeah, and Richie,
Curl.
no stranger to this type of play.
Curl.
Trying to make sure
Walk it
that they
over.
take the ice out of
Gotta walk
it,
it over
play a
here,
little
buddy.
more weight.
Hard to it.
That one just kind of pumped out there a little bit,
Here.
though, and
I should have taken
ends up
edge.
rolling out.
You're good.
I got an inch out, but we could have been quarter of the broom with that weight,
Yeah,
I
it's a
think.
little straight right.
It looked to be
Get our confidence.
9, maybe 8.5 even with the release there, Phil. I thought that got down there pretty quick.
Yeah, and I did miss the click on it. So, but I agree, probably a little bit up. But you know, no, same thing here. Jason's got to keep this rock in play, because if he doesn't, Rich has got that little yellow stone to be able to draw under and put some pressure on.
Never we noticed that we have the blank.
Shouldn't see this do much of anything. They're on a quarter of the stone, and I think that might be even a lot for this shot on this turn.
If he's throwing 9.5, he's going to roll out on the high side with that broom. I'm thinking they're probably throwing the dropping it down and throwing 10.5.
We're hearing 9.5. Still going backwards.
Whoa.
Now it looks like it's all right.
Yeah, I had 10.5 on the.
Yeah. A good weight control there from Smith. Keep that one in play.
That same, I had that half guarded hit right here a couple ends ago.
Probably throwing control at
We're
this,
just
I would
throwing-
imagine.
Outboard.
But
This will be an interesting one here on this
Yep.
line, Phil. That it may hold just for a couple seconds early until it gets across center. But once it goes, it will
We can
dive
roll a
hard on
little
this
once
line.
we get by. But play
And
it
this
safe.
is the
Play it safe.
spot that they played
What are you throwing?
earlier in
Heavy
the
board.
It's the same.
third
It's
end.
the same shot that I had that double.
2 ends ago, yeah.
Yeah, they're familiar with this line. I think Rich is pretty comfortable with what it's going to do. It's definitely not one you want to be soft on your release.
No, and if he gets a little inside roll here, it makes it interesting for the
Little up.
Love it.
Little up.
blank.
Yep. Yes. Gotta go.
This is curling
Gotta
early.
go hard,
This is
Connor.
curling early. Gotta go
Hard.
hard to get this by the guard. Just under through it.
Yeah, just what we talked about. Just a soft release and
Terrible.
on a line you can't do that on. So a draw for a cheap 2 for Team Smith. Kind of a strange 5 ends, Phil, where it looked like teams having opportunities giving them away, and then Richie finally had an end where it looked like they were comfortable and now end up giving up a shot for 2.
Yeah, a couple of half shot and a miss on his last, and really flipped it around and gave them 2 points here. So team will get a little break and be able to go into the 6th end, and going to have to try to put up a 2 to tie the game.
So Jason Smith's last
We're
shot,
good. Whoa.
5th
Okay,
end.
whoa. Whoa,
Needs
we're
full
good.
12 foot for
Back eight.
second
Just a little-
point.
Back eight. Whoa, whoa, whoa,
on
whoa. It's
the-
got to come down.
Swing
it come
turn
down.
should have a little weight come off it,
Let
but
it
that's
come down.
still coasting a little bit.
Just
13-5, hog to hog.
Using all the house. We
Yeah.
did say just needed full 12s, and that is exactly what
75.
Smith gets. So he will lead 5-3 at the break, and this 5th end break means we're brought to you by Warm Room Hero, the intuitive curling club software that takes the stress out of schedules, registrations, and more. Warm Room Hero, a platform built for curlers by curlers. Phil, we're still curlers technically, so we can use this as well. Check out Warm Room Hero at curling.club today.
Let's say you're in high school and there's a sport you like, but sometimes you think, it might be cool to try a new sport.
Could end up with a corner guard on the other side of the sheet.
Twin Cities Orthopedics is ready to go with more doctors, specialty services, and convenient urgent care locations. Ready, set, TCO.
We are at the 5th end break in draw number 2 here of the 2023 Men's National Championships. Team Smith leading 5-3 after 5 ends. And Phil, it was a back and forth affair, but kind of one where 2 or 3 of the ends looked like they were going the opposite direction, then turned around on skip stones.
Yeah, there's been some ups and downs in the ends, and rock's not quite going where teams are expecting. I'm assuming, as we've been in this place before, fifth end break, go back, talk to your coaches, talk about what you're seeing in the ice. This is a good opportunity as a team to really clean up what they've been missing in the line reading here, or on getting the broom in the right position, and I expect for us to see some better broom placements and line reading in the second half.
And Phil, as a coach for many years of high-level elite teams, if you're coaching Team Ruohonen, if you can get a word in edgewise, what would you be telling the squad at this point?
We're really trying to get Rich to force Jason to play the straight side of the ice. Obviously, they were able to take advantage of that. They were able to get a steal of 2, forcing him to play, the swing side of the ice, forcing him to play the swing side because he wasn't reading it quite right. So I'd be going right at that hard in this end to try to get a deuce and have him playing, which would be the left side of the sheet if you're throwing.
Looking around at the action on the other sheets, Team Dropkin gets a 2 to tie the game at 4 at the break on sheet A. Sheet C, young Sampson squad puts up a 2 in the 5th to take a 4-2 lead on John Schuster. And D, Daryl Sobering with a really nice shot to finish off the 5th to get a point and cut it to 4-2 against Danny Casper when it looked like that game might be close to handshakes with all the granite Danny had in the house.
Yeah, I glanced over there. I think Danny had 4 or 5 in there, and Sobering made a nice draw to the top of the 4-foot button shot. So, props to the local team there for making the shot. But a good battle there on sheet C with Sampson against Schuster. Sampson getting the better edge early in the season over Schuster in the Blaine event and being able to beat them. So looking to go 2-0 against Schuster this season.
That's interesting to hear too. And having a win against a team like that early in the season, Phil, for a young team like Sampson, knowing you can beat that team. I've made this reference so many times, even at the top levels of the sport. It's the same of our record against Kevin Cooey before the Olympics, where what were we, 0-8 against them in a 3-year span, really something like that, and finally beat him in a slam right before the Olympics. And that gives you that confidence that you can actually beat that team that's had your number, a top-level team. And for Sampson, having even just the one game against John, but have success in that game,
a little bit back.
You feel like you can beat them, regardless of what happens.
Guarantee Coach Mike Moore was talking about that in the pregame and, reminding these boys that they can go out there and compete with them.
Go. Okay.
And Phil, you always have an affinity for your old team, but I really enjoy seeing the younger squads doing well in these events against our elite teams, because the best thing for the sport going forward is that these teams can compete with the top teams. Maybe John's still at the top of the ladder at the end of the week, but it's not a bad thing at all for USA Curling for teams like Sampson and Casper and Dunham to do well in these events. Dunham a little bit more experienced, but I would still refer to them as a younger squad.
Go, it's coming
but the
down,
depth
go.
of talent, being able to compete with these teams, that's not something that we saw, even 2 Olympic quads ago, that the bottom of the field just couldn't compete with the top, and that's not the case anymore.
Yeah, it's really great to see our young teams out here competing both on the men's side and the women's side, and it shows about the pipeline and the development that we have across the country.
Tap that a little, it's okay.
Yeah, as you mentioned with the women's side, the same thing. I look at a team I have a little more experience with watching, and Delaney Strauss's squad, because my sister coaches them, and that's a team with no fear of anybody in this field. That's a cutthroat squad that I would put up against anybody on any given day. And having those up-and-coming teams, knowing that there's another wave behind our Olympic squads, it's so fun to watch.
Right off right now. Whoa.
Back to our feature sheet here, we have Team Ruohonen with the hammer, down by 2, playing in the 6th end here, so trying to figure out a way to generate a deuce.
Okay.
Looks like he's got his corner guard. There's a center guard.
I think inside out.
Yeah, not a bad setup for Team Ruohonen starting this end. There is one center guard, but it's off the center line. No rocks in the 4-foot for Team Smith. Should be an opportunity for Rich to try to find a 2 or a 3 somewhere.
Board plus.
Looks like Team Smith trying to make an out-turn hit here on the straighter side of the sheet. And they are getting caught up on the
once again
broom placement and on the straighter side of the sheet. Missing that one on the high side. I think might have been an overthrow there. I think just overthrew
I
it.
think we're
and it just
going right
runs.
here. Okay. I like it. Just half
yeah, no
open
margin
is
for error on
good.
that side with that shot. And at a certain point, Phil, it stops being something where it's just small, simple mistakes and something where it's on nobody but you. If you continue to miss on the same side for the same reasons and not make that adjustment. But yet a 5-3 lead at this point in the game just because they've been able to execute at the right times despite the fact that maybe not picking up on the
Wait
ice.
only right here.
Yeah, and for those at home, just a reference that it is the outturn right hand for a right-handed player. The outturn side of the sheet is a straighter side. The in-turn side right here that they're throwing is the swingier side of the sheet. As we're seeing with this rock warping in and actually missing the sweep and ticking that red one.
Now we'll be switching up to that swing side for Team Smith.
Yep.
Not a ton of broom already for this shot. We'll see if it's enough weight to hold the line. Nothing wrong with the throw. Clean out of hand.
Calling 11, just a board weight.
Should be pretty good here.
Carl.
Could be a possible thin double with a sweep, but it kind of fell asleep at the wheel a little bit there.
Just a little bit overthrown there.
Yeah.
It was 10-5.
I think we're kind of the same right here. Yep. If it goes here, it's okay.
So Rich looking to call the same shot. In-turn freeze on the top of that red rock.
Connor Kaufman, the left-hander with the
With the
outturn
outturn. With the outturn freeze for Connor.
Sound like about the same, a little less.
That's why I always enjoyed
a little
when
less too.
we did last shot draws.
Line's real good.
John Landsteiner was my partner
go,
for
yep,
that.
yep.
All I
Line's
ever
real
had to
nice.
say was, are we playing
Gotta
our
go.
outturns or our interns?
Gotta
They're on
go.
opposite sides of the
Opposite
sheet.
sides.
Always straight, always straight. Even when you get by, it's straight.
Knowing guys of your talent, you could have probably slid out of the hack at the same time.
Straight,
and
right,
thrown it.
free keep going.
We took great pride in the we always called ourselves the A squad.
Yeah.
For the last shot draw.
15-3-5.
Not to say that we didn't have good draws coming from our teammates as well, but the friendly competition within the squad helps keep things fresh on the road too.
Absolutely, especially when you look at world championships when they're, you're playing 13 games or 12, 13 games in a round robin. It's good to have that little friendly competition.
Dominic Markey now with outturn, I would say board weight shot.
Board plus.
Hold on the center line for a little while and take a little turn after.
Yeah, once it crosses, it'll curl a little bit here.
Whoa.
Very little, but it will go a little bit.
That's well read there. Jared and Richie, former teammates, yapping at each other a little bit.
That was my
You like that?
Yeah.
Or here?
I think they probably gotta make sure this is opened up and don't
Okay.
get themselves in too much trouble
I think
here.
we're trying just outside of
Lots
nose.
of time to still get a skip's deuce.
Yeah, 4 rocks left in the end to throw. Like to open this up if they can. Could get some good action on their own stone in the top 12. So
Well,
they hit
yep.
this just right.
Yep. Yep.
That's
All
a
right,
pretty
good
good shot
shot.
there
Good.
by Strauss.
One thing to point out there, Ty, and I know I talk about with teams you've done when you've been playing. Traditionally, when it's time to bail out and to get yourselves out of trouble, you don't want to wait until the thirds last.
Right.
It's a little late then at that point usually, so you want to do that on the thirds first.
Yeah, and it may be
Maybe
earlier
even
in some
maybe even
spots,
the seconds.
but
Yeah.
once you've gotten to that third second, you'd like to be able to bail twice with your third stones if you need to,
Yeah.
but also have the opportunity to attack with your third, second stone if you make
weight's
something
good.
good on the first.
Correct.
So it's not all on skip stones. That's
Back 4 to
absolutely
back
right.
8. Back 4.
They're yelling back 4. Rich would like that if it was behind the T line.
We gotta go.
This should carry a little bit on this line too.
Nope. I got you. I got it.
Definitely
That's
not.
a very good pair by Dominic Markey.
It's going to leave an opportunity here probably for a hack weight on the swing here turn to roll
Gotta
behind
make
the
it with
corner.
like
My gut was saying hack.
11 and a half, 12. Got to make this.
Certainly can get there with
Okay.
the amount of curl here.
Yep.
I wouldn't call that a lot of broom, Phil.
No, that he did ask for a little bit more.
Yeah, they did take a little more too.
Solid
That's
board.
solid board out of hand though.
Whoa. Curl.
Just for
Curl.
reference, a 12 would be almost
curl.
hack.
Got to curl all the way.
Timed
All
out at
the way,
11.
all the way. Hard.
If you're gonna ask for more broom, don't overthrow it.
All right, 11.
I think the broom was right. If the weight was right, that curled a bunch at the end.
Agreed. That was that's made with the right weight.
Both teams just fighting it a little bit right now.
85-90. Top 4.
Does clear the stone, but would have loved to stick around there and roll under that corner for Team Ruohonen.
Yeah.
So now the door open once again for Smith to put the pressure on Team
Let's
Ruohonen.
take a 90-95. We'll sweep it.
And if anything, Phil, this time you'd like to maybe leave, if you're going to leave anything on either side, on the outturn side where they're throwing this. So with the over curl, as much curl as they can get playing
Top
the
4 on
opposite
a
side, that hit and roll would still be there to go underneath the
Got a curl.
corner.
Whoa.
Agreed. Yeah, leave it on the straighter side.
Top 4. We gotta go.
Top 4 is as deep as you want to go, no deeper than that.
Get it in.
This is a 15 hog to hog. I don't know. Got to work hard to get this there.
Top 12.
Yeah, just speed came off of that and died, and maybe a little misread from the sweepers.
94.
I was thinking intern.
We're going here.
Intern looks like the easiest way to get buried.
Right there.
It's an opportunity here for
Go there and
Team
go.
Ruohonen to really on the swing side they
I mean,
can
it
get
might
this
be a
rock
little
to
min,
bury.
seems like
Get it
it's
right
been
into the top of the
straightening
4
out.
foot.
95.
Yeah, that seems to be a recurring theme in this game, that the team that is controlling the end just can't seem to finish it off. A good draw to the top of the 8s, top of the 4 foot there for Team Smith, and I don't see a whole lot of way for Ruohonen to score more than 1, and probably a little bit difficult to even get that 1 point. So, and all of a sudden now that Skip's deuce is open again for Rich.
Important for him to come out in the 6th end and make his first one. Missed his last one in the last end, so to get his confidence going and build some momentum here.
I had 90. Good pop.
Good positive release there
right
from
now.
Rich, which I think is a good thing on this
A little
line.
heavy. And
Right real close, little up.
I think the
Back
speed's going to
four.
come off of this as it turns, though, Phil.
Back 4 natural.
Whoa, if it's there.
14
We're there
hog
for
to
sure.
hog.
Close. Stay close.
We're still there. We're still all there.
Sit.
Not too bad. Just behind the tee. Would have liked it a few feet higher, but
Take the force.
not bad.
Did not clear the guard by much.
It's an 85-90.
No, so much curl on that
So
line.
much curl. Yeah.
Make the freeze.
2 options for Smitty here, Phil. The
Make the freeze.
pick is definitely there through the hole, too, which normally would be in his wheelhouse, but he put the broom down for the draw. I mean, I like the draw, but with Jason's tendencies, I thought he might take a look at just picking that rock clean, too.
4 more feet than you just threw.
Yeah, I think he's, this is nice swing here. Just lock this down there and force Rich to have to make a good one to score 1, I think is a great opportunity here for Jason.
Just glancing over at a cross sheet double
Wade's
peel
good.
by Ben Richardson. Saw a few of those when I coached
Wade's
those
good.
guys back in the day. And Benny's rounded into such a really, really solid player in all aspects.
Certainly has. So this is coming down. It's a 14, about the same as Rich's hog to hog. Should have a pretty good one here.
Oh, papers by. That's well done by the sweepers, and
All right.
very good shot. Richie thinks maybe they can get there with a tap or 2.
Heck.
Might be true. The way that
Throw the
buckles
same
down
weight,
on
the
that
same
line.
line.
Oh,
It's
just
perfect.
Make sure we get
I
one. without
think
Rich has
it-
to say here,
I'll
maybe.
try to throw identical to what I just did, right?
I think you need a hair more than that.
Yeah, okay.
But not a lot.
Was we didn't
Dr.
touch
Pepper Zero Sugar break
it. We
again.
didn't touch it.
Whoa.
So like there, we were right here, right? So
That
we
looks
need,
like the
there.
same. That looks like
Just
less
a
to
couple
me.
more feet.
I really.
Yeah, like I just enough to bump
I
it
know.
through.
I
Probably
just don't
like
want to try to tap
back
it and
12.
overthrow it.
I don't think you throw
Yeah,
any
I like
different
it.
weight than he threw on the last one, Phil, just
I mean, it looks
because
like the same weight's close.
just 3
it looks
more
like they're
feet
cutting
away.
the broom
That's
down and
sweeping it.
playing a
I
little
think once we
more,
buy that
and
second one, it's
We
all
I'd
gotta
be
get
very
some
hesitant
curl.
to get any
I only
closer to
got
the
like a
center line
third.
with the stick here, regardless if you're throwing a few feet more weight.
There
Yeah,
you go, Richie.
and you want the rock to run
Throwing
similar.
3 more
I like
feet,
the
4
3
more
more
feet
feet
than I
is
just had.
is okay, but any more than that, and the
We
rock's
gotta
going to
stick
run
with it
different
here,
down the
'cause
sheet.
we need to curl her straight. We need to get.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to play it kind of tight. I only got
Very
like-
difficult, and I think it's important to remember on this
but I
shot
think we
too
can
that
make it the way it warps in there.
scoring for Rich is still not so bad.
So just,
You're only down a
that was the
point
95.
with 4 ends to play if
Okay.
they do get 1. If you get 2, great,
Just a
but
little more pop.
erring on the side of being by the guard and making sure of 1 point first.
I had kind of a lot. I had
That
83.
looked like a lot more weight out of hand.
Back line.
You got to let it catch the curl.
Close.
Back line.
Oh, curl, curl.
I don't know if it's going to take the curl as much with this weight.
Curl. Oh. Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Just
whoa, whoa.
way too much weight for that shot. That's almost hack there.
Way too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, missed opportunity there for Team Ruohonen.
That really would have liked to see just this, maybe repeat the same and hammer it to try to get the second point. But again, the end turns around and a couple times late, and Team Smith gets the steal.
Just because you're not a professional athlete doesn't mean that you should accept less. The beauty about what Thorn does is our product quality is the same whether they're in the athletic line or whether they're just for the everyday person. Thorn has kept true to never compromising on quality, never compromising on efficacy, never compromising on safety for not only athletes but for everyone who would use their products.
So we're back here with 6-3 for team in favor of Team Smith, playing the 7th end, and Richie's team, Richie
Good
Ruohonen,
too.
and his squad here definitely need to put
Weight's
a couple
real
points
nice.
up to keep this game within
Weight's
reach.
real
Line's
good.
really good.
Weight's real good. We're a little
Yeah,
up.
they weren't in a desperation mode as of yet in the 6th, Phil,
Sit,
but
honey. Sit.
not scoring in that end and
Sit.
now trailing by 3.
Okay.
Good.
They're in all out,
Fine.
try to score 2 mode
It's all right.
in this 7th end.
420.
The 3-point deficit not insurmountable, but
Here we go. Just me.
now you're at a point where if you only took 1, down 2 without with 3 ends to play is a much deeper hole than what they were looking at before. So we'll see if
I can put it top
Ruohonen
12.
can find a 2 somewhere here. I got to say, too, Jared Allen's had great draw weight in this game. He set his team up very well in almost every end starting out.
Yeah, talked a little bit last night with Plies after the game, and very complimentary he was of Jared and his rock positioning and really putting rocks in the right spot. So again, Jared and team are practicing together. They're training together down in Nashville. Jason's moved there. Hunter's moved there. Team practices. They're on the ice every day. They've got great access to the ice down there, and they're doing the right
just go
things
here.
and working hard at it.
There you go, bud.
Yeah, and you can tell that this is a more cohesive team, I think, than than Jared has played on in the past too, and the communication between the squad top to bottom has been excellent.
Little heavy.
And
Weight's real.
they seem to enjoy playing together. It's a good
Line only.
personality mix, I think,
See
with the four
natural.
guys on
Gotta
the team.
go. Go ahead, Sam. Weight's real good.
But yeah, it's fun to
Hard
see the
Sam.
success from
Dig,
that
Sam.
squad.
Okay, we're good.
That's,
We're by now the other way. Other way. Curl,
you know,
curl.
especially
Yep.
with someone like Jared accepting
Okay,
that
go deep,
role
yeah,
too,
go,
coming
go,
from
go. All
a
right.
sport like football and having that
Yeah,
alpha
top
dog
12.
mentality, but coming in here and playing his role, being a leader, but still accepting his job and doing the little things to help his team win.
Yeah, it is. It's you know it's a great thing for them and to be able to have his leadership, but it's a great thing that he's able
2-3
to
on your own.
understand when
Top
Jason
12.
needs to be in charge.
Take broom off. Take broom off. Take broom off. It's got to come down. Top 8 and
This
top
team
4,
played a
maybe-
ton of
maybe
games on
captain.
tour this year.
We're in.
I don't know
Oh,
what
it's
the
coming
total
down, it's
number
coming
of
down.
events they played, but it had to have been upward
top
over
4 on
10
its
to,
own.
10 to 12 events on tour, getting a number of repetitions in for a new team, which is very important piece of learning a lot about each other and getting your team systems down.
Don't have a ton of time, Rich.
Piling rocks up in the 4-foot right now. Both of Jared Allen's stones. And now
We gotta get
Connor
this one out, so
Clausen's
we gotta
stone.
throw normal. Okay.
Those are going to need to be moved, and
Here, because it goes right.
here's where you see the experience of someone like
This was
Richie
normal.
figuring out
Okay.
how to move these stones around, keep your shooter, and create opportunities to score 2 or 3.
Oh, curl.
Little full
Hard.
on it, but this
Hard,
should
Aiden.
get a little bit of curl.
Hard.
A lot of weight here.
Oh
There.
yeah, overthrew. Yeah.
Now that's one where you really need to control
All
the
right,
weight
guys.
and stick around more than anything else, and just a little on
Run the rocks.
the heavy side. Pretty easy call here for Jason Smith, playing the run.
Yeah, a little run double, get himself out of this end, and he's happy to get a blank at this point if they put up a blank.
Oh, big.
Jason doesn't matter. Waist ends, he's got a 3-point lead.
No problem with that, just clearing that guard.
Probably got to replace it with this
Essentially, at this point in the end, Phil, there isn't really going to be an opportunity for a 3 for Ruohonen unless there's a significant miss. These will be straightforward shots the rest of the way out, and likely that if it does play out the way it's set up, that there'll be a double at some point for Team Smith too. So this is according to plan for Jason. Obviously, that rollout
Little
from
on the
Team
line.
William made a huge difference in this end, but now it's just straightforward.
gonna have to
This is
curl,
playing
guys.
one-on-one,
Curl if we
killing
can.
guards, limiting the end, trying
Yep.
to make sure that you don't
Curl.
give your
Curl
opponent a
what,
3 opportunity.
Walk it over,
Curl
Sam.
all the way. Curl,
Walk it
gotta
over,
go.
Sam, hard.
Gotta go. Keep
Hard,
going,
Sam.
keep going.
Good sweeping there by Sam Strauss.
Real good
Aiden
sweep,
Holmberg
guys.
put that rock in the right position.
Good.
Even if they do pick that back one out, they can still draw under the corner guard. So Ruonen's team still in good position here. Even if Jason does chase this, one thing which Jason indicated, if you hit and stay on that back one, it just helps Rich's team. So he's going up to the peel and he's going to get rid of this rock. And if he makes a run, he's happy as well. Out turn, run double.
Yep. Whoa. Hard.
Sweeping it hard.
Yeah, actually crossed that stone, so not where they wanted to be, but does roll off, so accomplishes the main purpose.
Hey, one more.
Did see Team Schuster take a 3 in end number 6 to go up 5-4 on Sampson. So maybe John and his squad starting to find their rhythm a little bit. Figure it's just a matter of time
Curl.
with them. And
I think.
anytime
Curl.
you can put up a
Curl.
3, even with early struggles, it can
Curl
start to
all
turn.
the way.
Dropkin
All the way,
also
Curl,
taking
all
a
the way,
steal
Curl,
on the
hard.
sixth
Hard.
end to go up 5-4
Hard. Hard,
over
Curl,
Dunham,
hard.
and Casper
Hard.
taking 2 in the 6th to go up 6-2 over
All right,
Sober.
good shot. That's good. Good.
Third crack now at the run back for Team Smith. We'll see if Dominic Markey can find the right spot and clear both of these yellow stones. This one looked like a little better throw. Should be real close. Oh, just papers by. But does roll to cover up a part of that red stone. Boy,
Yeah.
you can see the shadow of the rock on that one. That's as close as they get.
Yeah, really forcing Rich to play
Hack, right?
another shot
Hack,
here. And
12.
I actually think
All right.
Rich has got to try to stay as close to that
All
guard
right.
as he can to not allow
Like that?
Smitty the opportunity to throw a double here.
Yeah, you got to get by, but you really want to make sure that you don't roll.
Board, just board.
Said, give that double
Little
back.
down. Hard, Aiden. 12. Hard, Aiden, right to it.
Looks like he was a little soft on the release.
Still holding the line.
Keep it off that
Still
center.
by as of now.
Hard, Aiden, come on, dig. Dig, keep going. Keep
They're
going. I got the roll, I
actually
got the roll.
Actually playing to roll it over.
Yeah, I don't know that I agree with that. That gives Smitty a little better angle to play this shot. If you're going to roll, you got to get all the way to the outside 12s. But yeah, now there's a pretty good look at this double for Jason.
Looks like Jason's actually talking about just playing a hit and roll.
Yeah, make it kills the end, right?
I'll call myself surprised on that one. I figured as soon as Jason saw that double available, he'd light up like a Christmas tree. But
What are we throwing here? 10-5? Okay.
yeah, just playing the roll that way, and Phil, the pro side for this shot is even if you don't roll to a freeze, if you get close to that stone, it may give a better double opportunity on its last. Speaking as a broadcaster, it was more a prediction of what you would expect this particular player to play.
Right.
Ends
Yeah.
up just being on the nose, again on the straighter side.
Well, I mean, we make this, then
That's another reason why I think that the double was a good look, too, just because you could kind of play the straight turn on that shot. Just put the broom exactly where you want to hit it.
I agree.
Throw it
I
right
mean,
at it.
well, you know I would have been playing the double. Turn double. Just
Yeah,
just
we
rip
wouldn't
it.
even talked about it. I just would have had the broom on the rock, and you would have been in the hack. A lot of times, Phil, when we played, I didn't have the broom down before you were coming out of the hack.
No, it's just a reference.
Yeah,
Point.
Well, I like to think that we were so in tune, you knew exactly where I was going to put the broom. You didn't have to see it.
Just I knew exactly where it was going.
Are we rolling away?
And I knew I wasn't usually going to hit it, so if you didn't have it down, I couldn't have missed it.
You can't miss the broom if it's not on the ice. Yeah.
Yeah, just so we can't.
Rich is talking about playing the hit and roll under here. I think that he's thinking about it the right way. If he gets a hit and roll under, they're going to hit the back when he draws for two.
And even if it doesn't roll all the way under, any roll to the center is not going to leave Jason a double. The only way there's a double is if a piece peeks out and they can play a slash.
Yeah, rolls too far.
But nothing wrong with nose on this shot either for Richie.
Gotta go, Connor.
Yeah, it can't roll out though. If he rolls outward, there will be an easier double.
Okay, good. Just leave it.
Nothing wrong with that.
Good shot.
Any double here would be extremely thin. The hit and roll would be the right
Hit
shot
and
with
roll
this
under, right? Hit and roll the guard.
Just had a quick glance over. It looked like Sampson had a draw for two and just missed it and ended up tying the game 5-5. Dunham was able to put up a 2 and take a 1-point lead over Dropkin 6-5.
Curl.
Sweeping this to make it curl, trying to get the roll under.
And just same thing on each of these shots, just not able to get to the inside of that stone.
That's a good opportunity, really, to make that and put some pressure on. And instead, now Rich is just able to throw up and draw for two.
Yeah, and with that roll too, Phil, that's one where you want to get aggressive at it because there's 3 different ways you could make that shot.
Probably
Rolling
like
underneath
it's a 14-2 now.
to a point where it's partway open, so it plays into a
14-2
jam, rolling
probably
all
right
the
now.
way underneath,
Yeah.
or rolling all the way past the guard and being in front of that Ruohonen stone in the back of the house. So no matter what, you really wanted to be on the inside in some way, shape, or form there. So just cutting the broom down and making sure you're there. Use your sweepers if you have to, if you think you're on the tight side, but there's just nothing you can do about it when you're on that wide side of the stone.
I had 4-0, but I thought
You
we
got
were
to go
close.
then. I think you got to go then.
We got the whole house, so.
It's up to
Go
you,
ahead.
but 4-0 means it's pretty close, but I think you have
got
to
the
Rich is going to continue to talk all the way down the sheet, make sure the guys know where it's at. Good throw by Ruohonen here to get it right into the 4-foot.
Yeah, you always want to see it end up in the 4s at the very least, too, so you know you have that weight for later on in the game. But Ruohonen does find their 2. Cut that deficit to 1 point. Now, after 7 ends of play, Team Smith leads 6-5 over Team Ruohonen. Back for the start of the 8th end, which means it's time to tell you once again, Warm Room Hero. It's more than just software. It's run by curlers dedicated to building long-term relationships with your club. Warm Room Hero provides continuous support to ensure your website exceeds your members' expectations. Check out Warm Room Hero today at curling.club for special event pricing. Thanks again to Anthony DeArco and his company for sponsoring the event. Phil, we are now 6-5 Team Smith after that 2 from Team Ruohonen to cut the lead to 1. And you have the feeling that if either team can just put together one solid end start to finish, that they might be able to take control of this game, even for Team Ruohonen being down a point without Hammer.
Yeah, and we put the announcer Hex on Jared Allen there, talking about how great he's played, and finally missed one.
He fell victim to the center of the sheet, that fast track.
Yeah, I agree, Ty. This game is still up for grabs. You know, Rich is going to throw the double center guards here. He's going to try to make Jason chase him and try to make Jason throw against 1 or 2 and maybe get a steal out of this end if
We're
nothing
definitely
else
on the center.
Okay, you want to split it. It's there.
It's all there.
Should be there. Good shot, Aiden.
That's
That's good.
2 good center guards by Aiden.
Good, Aiden.
Phil, haven't seen Aiden Oldenburg a whole lot. Not a lot of experience with his play. What have you seen from him as an up-and-coming young player?
Yep, came through the junior ranks, just aged out last year, did some skipping as a junior, and really found himself in a new role, playing lead this year, playing in the front end, and worked hard at adapting to it. He has spent a lot of time in the gym with our trainer Mike Galenchin, and really putting an emphasis on fitness and really taking control, or taking advantage of that opportunity that he had to become a better sweeper. So
gotta make this good.
He's a hard-working kid. Also, Connor Kaufman, also a skip at the Junior Nationals last year, and really finding himself at a front-end player and doing the same thing. So, it's great to see these juniors coming up, being willing to adapt to different positions,
gotta curl a little here.
doing what they need to do to make themselves better players all around.
It's got plenty of weight.
And you mentioned Mike Galenchin, too, the head trainer for USA Curling, and I've heard so many positive things from players, the athletes that have worked with him on the men's and the women's side.
Sorry, guys.
I've spent some time with Mike just around at events, never got to work with him directly as an athlete, but it seems as though the athletes get so much out of his, not just his regimens, but his attitude and how he interacts with the athletes.
You know, Mike's got a way about pushing athletes to make them better in such a kind way. It just makes you want to go there and work harder. You know, he's been a really great addition to the program. You know, I know in the 2014 to 2018 quad, you know, a lot of talk was about Dr. Carly Anderson and the emphasis on sports psychology and how much that helped us in that run. And, you know, last
we're just
squad,
going right here.
you know,
Okay.
of course, still working with Dr. Carly, but and still the emphasis on that.
No.
But, you know, having Mike come in and
We don't
really
have to guard
help
this, we
take the
just gotta be
athletes to the
tight.
next level on the fitness side has been a great addition.
Saw the double peel attempt by Hunter Clausen on that last
Whoa,
throw. Ends up clearing one and rolling another one off.
Line here, boys.
boys.
Split center.
Better
Line's perfect.
Situation
Line's
than it was
real good.
before.
Line's real good. Straight, always straight right now.
Rich just trying to
Line's
replace
great.
it.
Here, right here.
Really like to
Right
line
here.
these two
Easy.
stones up to make the double peel tougher.
Really good. Nice
That's
shot.
perfectly
Sweet.
done.
Yeah, I think that's a good learning opportunity for people there, Ty, as to, you know, why it's important to be able to line those up and you know, not really caring about guarding the yellow stone in the house, but lining the guards up.
Yeah, Richie isn't looking at that stone in the back of the 8-foot as the one that's going to steal. If it ends up being a rock that counts, that's great, but anything that's going to score is probably going to be underneath guards. So lining two stones up in front of the house, using that later on to go behind,
one high?
that's where Rich is trying to get his steal from.
I think we got to go another one
And
up
I
there.
think this is
I would
right,
agree.
too. Still too early to go in. It helps so much
center's pretty
having
good.
number one counter back there, too. And you're sacrificing the fact that Smith can hit that back stone and sit two to have your two guards up, because you do need to play for the steal at this point. It's not all or nothing, but with the setup they do have a good opportunity to steal, and this is a good chance to go after.
Right off then, right off.
Starting to get better. It's starting to get better.
Okay, it's
You
coming
have
down.
a final on
Curl,
sheet
it's
D.
always curl. Whoa,
Danny
whoa,
Casper,
what you got to curl?
the win over Daryl
We just gotta
Sobering.
leave it.
Score
Right
was
the end a
6-4
little. Just
going
rub
into the
over.
8th.
Yep,
Wait
little
to
bit,
see
little
if
bit, little
they
bit,
hang
little bit,
for
little
the
bit, little
final
bit,
end,
little
but
bit. Okay.
excellent win for Casper
get
after
this,
a good
going back
showing
in
in the
the
first
hand, right?
game where they really outplayed Corey Dropkin for the majority of the game. Just couldn't finish the game off, but a 1-1 start for Casper and playing very well.
Yeah, good young team. You know, like you said, you talked about Ben Richardson, Luke Violet. They've been around for a long time. You know, Danny just coming out of juniors, and Chase. You know, they've got a lot of tools on that team. It's you know, it's fun to watch them at the World University Games, coming home with a silver medal, and excited to see how they do here this week.
The double peel attempt that time by Dominic Markey only loses one and does leave the shooter somewhat in the area of the center, so I think this might be time for Rich to go on the attack and play this in-turn draw around.
Yeah, I like the call here because I don't think that because of where that red rock ended up, I don't know that there's a run double available if he can keep this right behind the yellow rock.
Just tight.
Yep. Gotta go.
Yeah, this is the
Not in?
swing
Right,
side
right.
as well,
Okay.
Phil, and this is not going to get anywhere near
Bottom
in.
of the logo.
Okay. In the logo. That's fine. Then just let her die. Let her die. It's
So
fine.
you'll
It's
end
fine.
up being another center guard.
Okay. It's not that
Tell you
bad,
what,
actually.
you'd much rather have that than something slide to another one to the back of the
We
8
got to
foot.
get the shot.
Yeah, that's not a terrible spot. There may be a triple available now with the two guards and the rock in the back of the 8 foot. But at the same time, the way that these angles play, if it's just a little on the wide side, could end up possibly shooting into their own stone in the side of the 12 foot as well.
Big shot here for Markey.
Yeah, Dom can definitely turn this around with a big one.
Make his Skip's job a lot easier if he can make this double peel.
Oh, that's really well done. Excellent shot by Markey, and much different scenario now. And again, what we've been
I
talking
think we
about
gotta
with
throw
teams
the
having
guard, right?
opportunities and
Just not taking
not
advantage of
being
them.
able to take advantage. Yes.
Interesting spot here, Ty. You know,
Guard this. Top 400.
I mean, Rich going to throw up a guard? Is he going to just dump
think we're
another
throwing a
draw
guard.
in there?
Just
Because, I mean, you guard, he peels, then you
Probably-
go
I
in.
think we want to
Probably got to
guard,
throw
he
another
goes
guard
in,
in this
out,
situation because
triangle.
that one red one is not a good enough guard to
Yeah,
be
for
able to
sure.
steal with.
Yeah, I like Sam Strauss speaking up there on to that exact point that he said we guard,
All right.
they peel, then we go in
Just want
after
this
that.
on that side of the
And
center
you
line,
may or may not
okay?
get the
On
opportunity to
Connor's side of the center line.
steal, but the force still at least
Pass the
gives you
logo,
an
like,
opportunity
can be
only
anywhere
down
from
2
5 to
with.
3 feet out.
And Phil, the only other shot here would be to come around and go to top 8s right now.
Oh, 5.
Because I'm not real sure what Smith does. If they come around, they may have to hit the back, sit count.
I had 12,
Kind
but I
of
thought
puts
you
you
were
in the
good.
same
Good
scenario
ad.
that you'd be in anyways.
Just past the logo. Never you.
Really tight.
Yeah,
Okay,
pretty
well-
tight.
It's okay.
We're like just out.
So they're calling it just
Okay.
out.
Just out.
As long as it's tight and not in, that's fine.
It's good. Just out.
We're real good.
Right?
Yeah, in is not good because it allows them to maybe get another red one in the house. So this ends up
Rich.
okay.
It's good.
So are you peeling here, Phil? Or are you thinking maybe come around and take that draw away?
1536.
You know, you're up by 1. You
think
score in the
this is
8th
going
end. You're
5.
probably at a 90-something
man.
percent win rate. I'm probably peeling the guard here. He's drawn
like to
under.
get
I
the
got to
2,
open draw
right?
to the 4-foot for 1.
I agree. I think the peel will be the shot. Looks like he might, with where he's putting the broom, might be playing the run, which I don't think is necessary here. In order to make it, the shooter's probably staying right around that area, and that's the last thing you want on this shot.
Yeah, you know, and the reason I think you're right on that, it's not necessary because with the positioning of that red guard, if he throws an in-turn draw, it's likely the best it's going to be is in the 8-foot, and Jason's going to have a draw to the 4-foot for 1.
Right. With backing, too.
With backing.
Yeah, this is the only way you really give them the opportunity to steal is by leaving a rock on the center.
So get rid of it.
Because Rich is going to play the draw on his next one if he noses it and makes his double.
But get rid of the guard, make him replace. And then we can.
You hear Jared saying, just get rid of the guard, make him replace it. This is a straight side too.
Yep.
Can't nose.
Whoa. Yep.
He does make the run, but now you're drawn around a center guard.
That's what I'm talking about.
Jared's saying it's a nice shot, and I'm not quite so sure that it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great shot. He called it, but
It's kind of
Rich
like
has a great opportunity to steal now, and he didn't have one before.
Yeah, I just it's a well executed shot, but
So
Then that was.
if you ask Rich Ruohonen if he's happy with that shot, I guarantee he's saying absolutely. Now this is his opportunity to steal, and Smitty will have a run back most likely, but I mean, that's I'd rather have anybody playing a run as opposed to a draw to the 4-foot with backing.
It's got a curl to get buried.
I think one thing talk about here, Ty, for these guys is this is great if it's right on the T-line because it makes the run even harder.
Yeah,
Even
I
if
wouldn't
it's
even mind
behind
this
it.
back of the button, back 4s, and let him throw the draw and follow. But yeah, definitely make that run as long as you can if he's playing it. I agree 100%. Rich Ruonen's last throw.
I had 91.
end.
Looks like a big
I
ad.
think it's close.
Come around draw.
Top
Should
4.
get plenty of curl here.
Curling right now. Curl.
Wait's real
Only when you
close.
can,
little
though.
up.
Only when you can.
Just got to be buried.
Curl.
Little heavy.
Whoa, right off then. Right off
Trying
at
to
the
come
end.
down.
14 hog
will.
dog.
We gotta make
Speed
sure
will
we're
come off of it as it dies, but this looks like it's all of back house right now.
Sit, honey.
Yeah, just heavy.
Yeah, that's a bad mistake by Rich there, and
Or a split
now
for
all of a
3.
sudden that run back gives Jason a draw for 2, and the calls don't always matter when
The other
end
team doesn't
goes
execute.
like that. Yeah,
13-5-8, 13-6.
we're really just talking a draw to the
13,
8-foot
6,
essentially
yeah.
for Richie there. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not a shot that he ever feels like he should miss.
As coaches, we always say it doesn't matter if it ends out. It's still worth it. If it ends the way, it's still a wrong shot, and it's worth a discussion after
Yeah.
the game.
I would bet that
Hey, we're
Coach
up.
Jensen might
We're all
have
there.
a few words about that selection. We'll see. But
all
let's
there.
give credit, too, for the
Nope.
execution on the shot.
Curl.
Fantastic
He
shot.
made it
I
as
mean,
good as he could make it.
It's coming down, but we got it. We got it. Whoa. We're good. We're good. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm just cleaning it. Just cleaning it.
This one should hit the
We got
brakes
the
for the
back, we're
second
fine.
point, no problem. And it will be 2 for Team Smith to take a 8-5 lead after 8 ends. 2 to play. Ruohonen will have hammer in the 9th.
Twin Cities Orthopedics is ready to go with more doctors, specialty services, and convenient urgent care locations. Ready, set, TCO.
Start of the 9th end in our feature game. Jason Smith and Rich Ruohonen. Smith with a draw for 2 in the 8th to go up 8-5 on Richie. See Jason calling for a draw right to the top of the forefoot. Tyler George here with Phil Drobnik. And Phil, we saw once again in that 8th end a mistake, giving the team an open door for a multiple point ends. And team's still finding their footing out here and getting used to conditions. But
wait there.
I would assure you that Richie would like that one back that he had to go deep in 8.
Yeah, in tennis they call it unforced errors, and we've seen a few of them in this game. But props, I will say, like to Jason, he came up and nailed the draw, got his deuce, and moved on. So, they are taking advantage of misses when they have that opportunity.
Just a 2. I think the weight's real good. Good 2. I think we're maybe a little.
So
high.
3 points, down 3 points, playing the 9th end. It
Weight's
is
real good.
pretty much desperation mode here.
Weight's real nice.
You got to put up a crooked number here to kind of keep the game going.
Yeah, anything but a 2 is going to put you in pretty tough position. But Ruohonen knows how to put together good offensive ends. We'll see if he can find a way to maybe find a 3 somewhere. Here's Jared Allen's second. Jared with another nice stone to start the end. Lobbing down this out-turn draw.
Bigger bump. Just take the broom off. Broom off.
So he's trying to put a tight guard on this.
Yeah, just coming into the top of the 8-foot, I believe. Maybe bite 8 or full 12. Not a bad spot.
I like there.
It does leave a opportunity possibly later in the end to come around both of those stones to the back of the house. Use them as guards.
A little more in the first one.
But both rocks above the
Try to
tee
get 'em
line, good
even.
positioning.
I think we're about the same
Speed does seem to be holding up pretty well this game.
Want him even.
I haven't heard anything from the players
I
about
think so. Yep.
feeling like
yep.
they lost speed at any point yet. It's a good sign for
Great.
what we expect later in the week, too.
Okay, that's good.
2 even up guards from Oldenburg. A nice start from him as well. Hunter Clausen's first here in the 9th.
We're all good. I got it. I got it.
Watching Hunter throw, his delivery and Danny Casper's are very similar with that foot angle severely to the left. A little bit more upright. Danny's a little higher up than Hunter, but
yes,
same type of throw.
Good
See if maybe Danny, as his career goes on, gets a little higher and a little higher, like Mike Farbelow, eventually almost nearly upright. Worse things than ending up another Mike Farbelow.
But this
Yeah, right.
One of our favorite people in the curling world. I hope Mike's listening out there.
Well, Rich is his teammate, so there's a good chance he is.
Make this
Rich
double.
and Tim Solon playing, who's coaching these boys,
Or you're in.
and Mike Farbelow playing seniors together.
What's the miss here? A little high side? Okay.
So playing a run here, but important to keep this rock around.
Whoa.
Oh, curl. Wait,
Curl.
straight. Just go straight instead. Go straight. Okay.
That's a pretty good shot there. And normally you don't want to be running stones down 3, but with 2 corners in play and now that other red stone working as a 3rd corner, I don't know that Team Ruohonen had much choice, Phil, but to open that up.
And a good executed shot, and gives them an opportunity here to get a couple under a corner and make something work here.
Yep.
So Smitty's going back to just peeling guards, just single peels.
Yeah, we're into simple math now for Team Smith. Even single peels the rest of the way out. There shouldn't be any way that they give up more than a 2.
Real good.
Even clears that other straggler over on the wing, which helps.
So Rich likely going to be going under corner guard here. We're going to end up seeing a similar end to number 7, where they go under the corner and they'll be playing the run. And if they don't execute the run, there'll be a deuce. And if they do, then there's a chance that might make it challenging for them to get the deuce.
Got real close. Got a little
Mine's
heavy,
okay.
guys.
Okay, well then. It's going to need to curl. He kind of
It's
set her
running
back.
like a lot.
Might be a little heavy on this one.
Really needs to curl.
14 hog to hog.
Hey, you can now. Go. Yep. All the way back. You're not through. Go. Curl.
They're curling it under there.
Okay.
Good sweep, Sam.
Fine.
It's not a bad shot there.
Yeah, you can still see a pretty good piece of that stone. A little bit of a teaser.
Throwing hack weight at it. Don't want to stick. You don't want to hit it on the nose here, because that just gives a rock for Team Ruohonen to freeze onto.
Yeah, just playing this one safe. There's no reason to leave your stone in.
Just hack.
But only playing hack, pretty likely that if they do clear the stone, that it's going to stick around. Really need to get this to curl on this turn especially.
Going to catch enough of it, maybe?
No, it's going to go right by, and that's, again, misreading the line, too. That's just not going to curl that much on that turn. I don't know if maybe he flicked it back a little bit. I missed the
I think we
release
go here
there,
again.
Saw Smitty signal that he thought maybe was a little bit positive release, but you don't really want to put a broom down that gives you no margin for error on the wide side when you're playing that straighter turn.
Yeah.
Be a lot of teams there, Ty, that you would see just playing a peel. If you catch the back one, that's fine too,
Right.
type shot, and that's the downfall about playing a hack
Heavy
weight
right
shot.
now. To it right now.
Yeah, you don't want to
Stay
play a
close,
shot
'cause it's
where
carving a little.
We're like back line.
close
Okay, well,
miss is
stay
a
close. Yep.
worst
Line
case
only.
scenario.
Whoa. Close.
Back
Back
line.
line is
Whoa,
a
no.
lot
Whoa.
here.
Back
Good,
house.
It's good.
Still in.
Whoa. Can't touch.
So this is going to catch a piece.
Okay.
They didn't really manage that rock very well there. They just left the easy double here now.
Yep.
Needed to keep sweeping that one and keep a better line. Oh, maybe not.
Yeah, if they make the hit and roll even a little bit in front of that yellow stone, it's essentially a double anyways. Well, that certainly doesn't look narrow either.
Forward.
Gotta go Hunter. Gotta be Hunter. Hunter.
Trying to get this one to turn over now too.
Keep going. Hard. You got it.
He gets the nose, so
Oh boy.
opportunity
Yep.
to score 3, not out the question as of yet. This Rock they can get this roll. Richie might be thinking
what do you
about a
like?
freeze, but
I was thinking you go on top of ours.
What do you like here, Ty? I mean, you can play the hit and roll,
We either
They're
play
play the freeze,
enough to
but there
knock
is
it out
opportunity
in
for
there,
3 if you can make something
or we
good.
play the freeze
The
for
freeze
now.
is tough because you got to be
pretty
on the
good if we
inside,
make it.
right? You don't want to set up a freeze to line it up. Otherwise,
We got
that
a
back
timeout
one.
too if we
Want
need
to call
it.
timeout?
yeah, they're thinking about a timeout maybe to discuss this one.
Yeah, get
Got to make use
get
of them.
Coach Solon out there.
There's the old Silver Fox, Tim Solon, making a long trek down to the other end.
I mean, the
Listening
freeze is
to
good,
Reggie.
but then if he nuts of us, we can't get him out. So, I know that's what I'm thinking. Just, man, if you ever make it just like a foot short, yeah. 3 to knows it, we can't get him out. You know. Just. No, it's buried. If we don't flop it over, it's an easy double, and they're out at the end. I don't hate it. He said he doesn't hate the freeze. It's just if we could even get to inside a little bit, or well, like right there is good, but then if he noses again, it's hard to get him out. Yeah. So if we make this, we have to roll. Otherwise, it's a double. So what do you like? What do you like? What do you guys like? Huh? Okay. I'm fine with that. We just got to play it tight. We got to make the roll. It's got to be just enough to knock it through, right? Okay. Hack's good. You have the whole thing? Because we have to roll.
You got it here, Sammy.
Phil, I think my preference on this shot, seeing as it's still third, second stone, would be just to play the clean draw to top 12.
Okay.
Because that rock's still going to be accessible, and you're not really leaving a great angle for Team Smith
Go, Samuel.
to play
Like that?
to. If you hit this stone and play the roll, even if you make it perfect,
I like
the
this
freeze kills the end automatically. The end's over for him, right? So I think I would probably leave this be for the time. I mean, if this was Richie's first, I would play the hit and roll. But I
Little
think
solid.
with Strauss's
Wait's
second,
good.
I think the come around draw
Wait's
is
real good.
probably
Yep. Whoa.
the better
Wait's
play
nice.
in this
Whoa.
spot. What do you think?
Whoa.
Yeah, I like a draw in this position.
Whoa.
Play the come around
Whoa.
drive, and if you come a little
Girl
heavy,
now.
you come right up to that. But
Girl.
you know, if you make this
Go,
shot, it's
go.
great.
Go. Any roll you can get in. Any roll you can get. Ah, shit. All right. Good throw, though. Really good weight.
So he leaves 3/4 of it open.
I would say at least that. From the hack, you probably have almost all of it. And here's where you really have to believe the ice. Put that broom right on the edge of the stone and fire it. Just take the ice out of play. He may still be playing soft and trying to roll underneath, which it looks like he is. Again, surprised that Smith isn't just playing the double. You don't have to throw peel, but I mean, you throw solid normal. Even if you don't make the double, you still probably stick around in the 8-foot and rock that they have to play to.
Yeah, it's you know, they've thrown the hack weight here. They know the broom, so they're just going to trust with what they've been throwing. I don't disagree with you, but maybe a little concerned because they can't see quite as much as they think, and so they're going to go with the hack weight and try to really get position here.
Really important to hit the broom. I thought that might have been a little bit positive on the release, but they are sweeping. So that one's turning over a little. Squeaks by the guard and ends up in a very good spot.
I think there's a hack weight.
He threw like board on that. We just want your
I think
hack right
because
on the nose.
I think there's a hack weight
gotta
shot
get it
to
on the
get
nose
the
and
inside
over the
hole,
back.
maybe.
Hit it like
Absolutely,
right
yeah.
on the
That
nose.
was
Right there with 12.5.
probably board that Smith
so?
had on that last. So
Yep.
Kind of surprised they didn't just sweep that to get the double.
Sliver
Yeah.
of a roll. I got.
it was definitely there, and they kind of ended up right in between the two.
We can throw much more.
So now the hack weight shot getting
Soft hack
underneath.
is fine. But
3 comes
feel
back
like it
into
happens
play, and that
more.
rock being higher
gonna
now
throw.
above the tee line.
12.
A little less margin for error with the
All right, we got
freeze.
same exact shot.
Ty,
Okay,
I
gotta
think
try to roll.
when you're thinking as a
Okay.
skip here in this shot, like really almost just playing this as the hit and roll. And
Okay,
if you
think
get
it's
it
like
out
just
far
12
enough, it's
Yeah, just
okay. I mean, how important it is? Like, if you get it, because the key is if you leave it double, the end's over.
nice here.
So you really got to get to the nose or get to the inside of this is key, right?
Yeah, Richie will get aggressive at this one. I think he'll even try to walk this down a little bit.
Good
but
hack!
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Look opposite out of hand. That rock's still in the center line.
Girl.
I mean, that was nowhere near where Smith's was coming out.
Yeah.
That's a
Curl.
really brutal throw by Rich.
Yeah, that's a tough one there. Yeah, they had a great opportunity and a little bit harder than you probably need there too.
Yeah.
Split it and end it.
Yeah, that's one where you really try to walk it down and get that rock moving sideways with it being a
90.
straighter turn. Any type of positive release close to the center line just is going to run.
Jason puts this in a
95,
pretty good
right?
position, and Rich will have no choice but to draw for one.
85-90.
Yeah, either even up or even a hair deeper than that stone because any double would jam on the back stone anyways.
Yeah.
Correct.
His tee line's good.
Yeah, so I like
Nice read for Smitty if he
like that
needs
85
one for the 10th as well, but sure he's not planning on having to throw a draw for the win at this point. So Jason Smith's last stone here in 9.
Whoa, whoa.
Just
all
looking
there,
for
all
tee.
there. Tee on its own.
Should see the weight come off this one a little more with
Yep, coming down. Tee, top 4.
the swing turn.
Work tee. Whoa, I got it.
Rock's going to be in a pretty good spot, and Rich is going to have no choice.
Just about perfect.
All right. Just that
You ever get the
control
wheel
that
off the
we've
wide
thrown
one?
A million times right here, right? Yeah, right here. Yeah, yeah.
Is it like even there?
No.
No.
We can answer that
It's
for him.
not.
The answer is no. That is not there.
Here you go, Richie. Just make this.
Looking at that double. No, so
All right, just that easy
will be
control.
a
Yep.
You can
hit
hold
and
it.
stick for 1 for Ruohonen.
Yep. Right on the nose here, bud.
See the broom right on almost the center of that stone. As straight as this runs, I don't expect that it'll go much anywhere.
Control.
No, 10.5.
Weight's
Little bit.
good.
Yep. Yep.
Weight's good. Hard, Aiden. Slow down.
Yep.
Hard, Aiden.
Gotta go.
Hard, Aiden.
Gotta
Didn't
go.
quite
Weight's
get there
good.
with this one,
Hard.
trying to hold it.
Hard to it. Hard to it. Hard to it. Hard to it.
You see how straight that is? That
Good
was
sweep, baby.
basically right there the entire way down the sheet. Good sweep to hold it by Oldenburg. So Ruohonen forced to 1 in the 9th end. Team Smith will be up 2 with the hammer, 8-6 going to the 10th.
The everyday person may not aspire to be a professional athlete or an Olympic athlete. You may just want to be the best person you can be. You just may want to sleep better. You may want to feel better. Thorne has many products that can support all of those things. So it's not just about performing or running faster or jumping higher. It's those little things that go into having a higher quality of life.
Tenth end of draw number 2. 2023 Men's USA Curling National Championships at the Denver Coliseum here in Denver, Colorado. Tyler George with Phil Drobnik. Phil Ruonen's going to have to find a way to come up with a steal of 2 at least, stay in this game. And Phil, this is a situation in previous years without no tick where we would have probably thrown 2 corner guards as opposed to 2 on the center because that tick shot has been so makeable. But now, because if the rock is touching the center line, they can't play that tick. Teams end up going back to the center.
Yeah, it's if you can get 2 rocks on the center line, they can't tick it, and you've got an opportunity to at least make them throw against a couple. And that's all you can ask for when you're down 2 without the hammer.
Yeah, electing to just throw this one away.
It looks like.
I think that's the single greatest throw I've seen him make today.
Jared saying it looks like
Right
his throw
around it,
from
tight.
earlier with his draw that he threw through the house.
Was handshakes on sheet A. Dunham stole 2 in the 9th end to get a 9-5 victory over Team Dropkin, and continuing to roll undefeated.
3 for sure.
Yeah, and Phil, as somebody that's paid attention to
Okay, be
these
tight now.
matchups over the years, you said that
Okay.
Team Dunham's had a very good record
so
against
it's
Team
only
Dropkin,
we are
especially at the
almo-
national
we're, like,
championships.
Yeah, they
Okay.
definitely have matched up pretty good against them, and those guys can play, and they've had a lot of success on the tour, and they're going to be sitting atop the standings here after 2 games, sitting at 2-0, and the winner of our sheet will be also at 2-0. So a couple names that maybe everyone wouldn't have projected to be 2-0 or at the top of the standings early in the week, but great to see these teams coming out and playing hard and put pressure on the
I
top
think I can
teams.
get to the side of the end zone easier.
Yeah, we saw Team Sampson take 1 in the 9th to cut the deficit to 1 against John Schuster, but Schuster now up 1 with the hammer in the 10th end. Great battle on that sheet as well, though. It's that young squad just will not go away against John. We're seeing Jared Allen playing the back line weight, trying to get by the guard. Looks like all of that weight. Can't touch. Oh, gets by. Look at that shot. Might even clear it.
Great shot by Jared Allen.
Wow. That's a great shot by Jared.
And I gotta
That's
go.
we talk about his progression as a player, but I'll say that's
Kinda
an
gotta go
elite
in,
throw
right?
for any level.
For anyone.
That's a great shot by Jared.
Yeah, he definitely the little mistake there by Team Ruohonen by letting that rock come in the house, allowing him to play the hit, and he made the hit perfectly.
And zero margin for error on that shot with weight or line, because
Line's really good, boys.
again, if they touch the guard,
Yep.
then goes
Line's
right
real
back
nice.
where
Line's
it was
good.
with no tick zone.
Gotta go.
And really, Ty,
ahead.
Gotta go.
that's
Line's
a
real good.
potential game winner, because the end should be pretty straightforward from this period on.
Yeah, needing to steal
Liner's
2. I
okay.
mean, you're going to need a couple
Easy.
misses to have any kind of opportunity.
Sweep,
So,
guys.
this is just
Sweep.
simple peels the rest of the way out for Team Smith now. Whereas if that rock had been a miss, or if it had been short of the rings with 2 centers, then you may end up having to make something halfway decent on your last shot to win.
Yep.
Clausen makes the outturned peel.
So we're going to see a peel, replace.
Halfway on the logo, split center.
Go for a while here.
Halfway or a little deeper, is that what you said? Okay.
Connor Kaufman
No ad. Almost pulled it.
just trying to throw a
Pulled the string
1
on
to
that
2
one, boys.
guard here.
Easy though.
Try to get it to
Just
here.
looking for a
Line's tight.
Always
something
straight,
on the
always
center line,
straight.
barely
Over and
over
off.
would be ideal.
Over and off, boys.
That's good.
That'll be just fine.
Okay. Good throw.
I will take it.
All right, in the hack immediately to throw this peel is Clausen. Important still, Phil, though, not to rush just because you're looking at a simple shot. Go through your same routines, take your time. Treat every shot the same way.
Yeah, some tendencies we see late in the game by teams is to get them to rush, or they'll pick their speed up, and it's really key not just to continue to do the same pre-shot routine every time you throw the stone.
Right on the logo.
Ruohonen looking to replace that guard with Sam Strauss's first.
High 2. Above the logo.
Okay, right here.
High of that.
Okay, straight then. Nah, it's pretty close.
No, weight's actually real good.
We're okay. Line's perfect. Line's
Like right
perfect.
to your broom.
Okay, good throw.
Well replaced by
Oh, look at that,
Strauss.
above the logo.
Be another peel coming up for Dominic Markey. Phil, Dom gave me maybe the nicest trade I've ever made with jackets for anybody. He had this cream-colored national Swiss team wool sweater that he was wearing. I mean, Dom makes a lot of stuff look good, you know, but I mean, but this sweater is it was incredible, and I told him how much he liked it, and he asked if I wanted to trade for it, and I almost felt bad doing it because I know he's such a nice guy. He's going to offer anyways.
Right.
And I gave him a very nice national team USA curling pullover, those golf ones that we had a few years back.
Sure.
Got to make it at least
And
once
again,
more.
those are nice
throw
jackets,
another.
but you got to see this sweater. I mean, it's something else. I think he said he could get another one, which is fine, but I've gotten more compliments on that sweater than just about anything I've ever owned in my life. And I have Dom to thank for that.
Well, Dom's got style.
We know that. We know that, yeah.
And a little less.
I should also mention, too, I talked with
Higher.
Dom last night
Gotta go.
about the win over
Hard to
Schuster
get it
and
across,
then
I
moving
mean.
on to day number 2.
Just keep going.
And he said we're obviously pumped about this
Come on, you
win,
get it
but
across.
we're really trying not to look past the next opponent, and we're focused on the next game.
Okay.
All right.
You know, with having that success, we really want to come out with a good game tomorrow and play well. So, you know, looking like they're going to get this win now after that Hogstone open hit for Dom. You know, I think they definitely followed through with what they were trying to do and now get this 2-0 start.
Yeah, good solid game, getting a 2-0 start here. Very key for Team Smith and really chasing down that playoff spot.
Try to
Dom
freeze
makes
to
no
that again,
mistake with
like
that
right here,
peel
maybe.
once again.
So
Team
right
Ruohonen
there,
with 2
maybe?
stones left.
Maybe less.
No guards to use.
Okay,
They're
right there. Okay.
going to attempt to make a freeze on this rock just out the rings.
My triceps cramping like kind of hard
He's
right
playing on the,
now. So,
which should be
Try
the
to kind of corner that one.
swingy side of the sheet, correct?
So probably.
Yeah, this should cut pretty hard once it gets across
It's
center.
gonna be much slower 'cause it's still in the fresh, but
Again,
it's
going
gonna
towards sheet
be
A.
A little bit fudgy stuff for the first 20 feet.
In comparison, if he had the broom on the other side, he'd be in about the middle of the 8-foot to try to get over that
Top
far.
8.
Yeah, it's a significant difference with where you put the broom down for this shot, depending on the turn.
Go ahead, Aiden.
Gotta be there. Go, go, go,
You
go.
see
Yep,
how
yep.
hard this is
Really
going
gonna go.
towards the wall.
Yep.
Hard.
Yep.
Keep going.
Mine's really good.
Keep going. Really
Granted, we are trying to,
Mine's really
Rich
good.
is trying to throw this rock right to the side of the, almost to the sideboards. I mean, he's just biting the ring.
Good, sweet.
It's just enough to get paint,
Just good enough.
but a
not good
simple
enough.
peel for Jason Smith to end this game. So outturn peel for Jason Smith to lock up this victory, take his team to 2-0.
We haven't
Make the stone go away, and that's all she wrote.
We haven't seen Jason throw many peels today, which is usually unusual watching Jason Smith play.
Yeah. I think he's maturing in his advanced age now, Phil.
It must be. Yeah, he made a lot of great draws. He's made a lot of great draws
Yep.
today, and you know, had a real good soft weight game, and you know, props to these guys for coming out and getting the victory and going 2-0.
Yep.
Smith does indeed get the victory, and this 2-0 start, so important in a shortened Nationals tournament, Phil. Again, as you mentioned, with only 8 teams as opposed to the 10 that we normally see. 2-0 with a 7-game round robin is a really good start. You got a good portion of the tournament already over with, and Jason's got to be extremely happy. Obviously, the win over Schuster last night was a huge start, but to follow that up, as Dominic said, that you don't want to just sit on that one win and be happy with it. That you have to come out the next day and get that W and make it worth it. And they played a solid game. There's certainly room for improvement again for Team Smith with especially the ice reading a little bit with the swing turn, straight turn, but battling through it, making enough shots to get that W and moving on to the next draw.
Yeah, and I agree, Ty. And, these guys are just going to carry this momentum forward. A one-game day today, preparing for a two-game day tomorrow. So we'll see if they can come out and continue that momentum tomorrow.
So that will be our final score. Jason Smith, 8, Rich Ruohonen 6. Concludes the coverage of our feature game this afternoon in Draw 2. Thanks to Phil Drobnik for joining me in the booth today. This is Tyler George signing off. We'll see you for tonight's feature women's draw.